Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
We're getting commentary on the case. Dati mihi Anglican for he's very Latino.
That's literally not true.
Is that correct?
I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
Oh, for Trump's sake.
Happy birthday. You look good.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. It is wonderful to have you all here. I don't have an excuse. Yes, I do. I was eating breakfast. My daughter made me breakfast. I'm just finishing my mug of milk right now. I would say the mods forgot to wake me up, but they didn't. They did, in fact, wake me up this morning, which is great. Even with the reminder. Thank you, Weather Watch. I got the reminder for Mr. Magoo, so we're on board with that. I've got everything set up, so we're good to go here in a minute. But good morning. Good morning. A couple things. Red looks good. Thank you. This, one of my newest shirts from Habit. I buy all my shirts at Sam's Club. Yes, it's the same place I buy my groceries. I'm aware of that. It's just super convenient, though. You know, if I'm already going to be there, and then right there by the checkout, they've got my shirt. I'm like, hey, while I'm here, might as well just throw that on top of the chicken.
Happy birthday. You look good.
Thank you. Welcome. Big shout out and welcome to, you guessed it, Greeners. Greeners was first in chat late last night. Congratulations, my friend, Greeners. I use the term friend loosely here, because Greeners has, in fact, uncovered my past, which you may get to see. Well, you will get to see tonight. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen now. On the podcast, on the Not Relevant podcast, Greeners did some digging and uncovered some videos of me on the internet that have been out there for years. And more people are going to see those videos tonight than have seen them in the last 14 years combined. And I'm one of those people because I have not seen it in the last 14. I did these videos as an assignment for a class. This was in school. This was not professional. Trust me, no one would pay me for the quality of work you're going to see tonight. But Greeners dug up these videos.
I'm not going to argue about semantics here.
It's going to be good. First of all,
always kick back, taking it easy.
wow, have I've put on a few pounds in the last 14 years. Or maybe over time the camera makes you look thinner. I'm not sure which one it is. But you're going to see me look like a kid. I look like a kid. But it was fun as he's sending me screenshots of video after video that I show up in everything from concerts, which he caught me in the background as all dressed in black with holding a camera, to, being the weatherman or being interviewed as a graduating senior in on the news show.
Are we going to address that?
Yeah. Anyway, so I use the term friend loosely, but because of Greeners, y'all get to see that. So Greeners, it was a fun throwback. I honestly, I had blocked this out of my mind. I during this time period, I hated so much being on camera that I forgot some of these happened. I literally, I think I have told you before that I went through school and almost never appeared on camera. Well, Greeners found 20 times when I did. And some of them, most of them, I have never watched. So the ones we show you tonight, curated the best of the best, basically, as Amber's putting them together. They're going to be fun. So you'll get a live reaction from me. It's going to be mortifying because I already know I was super nervous Just from seeing the screenshots, I'm like, oh, I know why my brain blocked that out. I was so nervous about being on camera. Because on the news show, this isn't something that's taped and set up. No, it's you get one shot and it's live. We actually did it live. So anyway, that'll come tonight. So don't miss the podcast tonight. That's a little plug for that. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. All right, there's a couple other things we have to do this morning before we go to court. We've got a little bit. It won't start till 9. So, well, we've got very little bit. I think. No, I do that as well. I think Red Pan already had the birthdays up, and I've missed it. It's already off the screen. I scrolled too far. So, Red, if you can put those up again, there they are. Bingo. Thank you. Look how fast she is. The other mods could take a lesson from. No, just kidding. You guys are great. Red, that was awesome. We have birthdays today. Green-Eyed Cat, Linda Lou, Susie, and Vicky all celebrating their birthday today. So let's celebrate on this wonderful podcast Thursday. With them by everyone. Stand up, take a deep breath, shoulders back, project your voice to the back of the room, blend your voice with your neighbor, warm up with me if you will. La 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 la. We're good. We're going to sing to Green-Eyed Cat, Linda Lou, Susie, and Vicky. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Green-Eyed Cat, Linda Lou, Susie, and Vicky. Happy birthday to you. As far as tonal quality goes, I think today might have been the best performance ever. Y'all nailed it. The unison, it was even the harmonies you guys did. It was amazing. The pitch was so precise. I heard the harmonic resonance. It was amazing. It was incredible. So happy birthday. Green-Eyed Cat, Linda Lou, Susie, and Vicky. I realize there are many wonderful days. Today is your special day. And also, there are many places you could have celebrated and many people you could have celebrated with. But you chose to be here with us. The privilege, the pleasure, the honor, the joy is ours. Hopefully, we can return some of that joy back to you. Make this your day a little more specialer. Begin by helping yourself to free pancakes at Denny's, IHOP, Village Inn, Waffle House, McDonald's, Tammy Dunlap's House, Andy's Grill, Bob Evans, and Cracker Barrel. And none of those places sue me. Please, don't sue me. Why do people keep asking for free pancakes? Hey, just be glad I'm sending people your way, okay? Call it a win. Give them free pancakes. All right. YouTuber faces lawsuit from 7 notable restaurants after giving away years' worth of free pancakes. I can see the title already. New York Times, front page. Spotted Tammy with the best pancakes. She does have the best. I'm sorry, the other places, they're good, and they'll do in a pinch, but Tammy's are the best. Drum solo coming up. Help us finish out the birthday song by finishing it with a drum solo. It goes a little something like this. This is the hi-hat. That one. This is the snare. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, as we get set to go to court, oops, I need to switch some things around. Box source 2 is going to be actually 7. Nope, box source 1 will be 7, 2 will be 3. Nope, box source 3 will be 7. There we go. 3 will be 8. Finally. Okay. 8 it is. Okay. Whew. Just in time. We're all standing. What did I miss? Oh, I gave away the internet. Greeners, you got the internet, right? Congratulations. First in chat, friend.
No.
Be careful what you do with the internet, friend. Actually, it's been really fun. The Greeners found all these, and he keeps texting me. He's like, found another. Was that you? Is this you in this image? Is this article about you? This the story you wrote, first place. Was that yours? Yes. Yes, on all counts, Greeners. This won't do. We're going to change it to be camera 7. clicking is just driving me nuts. Box 3 will be 7. There we go. Clicking's gone. Fixed it. Wish I could figure out what's causing that. All right, we do have some messages while the jury's coming in. Hopefully we can get some of these in. Thanks, Britta, for the reminder. Oh my goodness, there's a few. Britta, first of all, 27 months. Oh, gee. Thanks for everyone for the support. Great community, wonderful friends. Thanks, RA and Mods. Thank you, Kim R. Sent a super sticker first thing this morning. That is awesome. Thank you, Kim. Green-Eyed Cat, member for 12 months of the jury. Green-Eyed Cat, thank you very much. 1 year with all y'all, and the best place to spend some time on my 59th birthday. Love to RA, Mrs. RA, the Mods, and the greatest chat. Thank you. Good feels and vibes all around. Kelly H. gifted a membership this morning. AJS member for 11 months, 1 month away from the 12-month mark. Good day from Perth, Australia. 8:50 p.m. Thursday night here. You're calling from the future. By that time tonight, my podcast would have already started.
All right, everyone, please be seated.
Kim, thank you for 2 super stickers.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Good morning.
Hope you had a good evening. Appreciate you being here on time this morning. And I do want to ask, I trust that everyone was able to abide by the court's instructions.
He's a little quiet today.
Avoid any exposure to media coverage. Any problems?
No.
Okay, all right.
No.
Thank you very much. And
No from
we'll get
the back.
right to it. If the state would please call the next witness.
Your Honor, at this time, the state calls Michelle Shepard to the stand.
Michelle Shepard. Kim, thank you for the super stickers. Lena H., member for 22 months, another OG. Time flies when you're on the best channel on the YouTube. Thank you. And Linda Lou, member for 10 months, says, thanks for the birthday wishes, Linda Lou. Happy birthday. Thank you for 10 months of support. Would not be the same without you here. Sure appreciate you. It's the first time. Linda, it would not be the same without you here. I'm sorry. I always make it a point to look at the camera when I say that. And I didn't that time. I apologize. Kelly H., another super sticker. Mary Tedeschi, 24 months. Hit the big 2-4. OG. Thank you as well. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
If you would please raise your right hand.
Do you swear and affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
Please be seated.
Just River P2. Welcome to the gallery.
May I inquire, Your Honor?
3 months. Thank you so much.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
I'm going to ask you just to try and stay close to the microphone. This courtroom has a tendency
It's not
to
a professional, not a
the
cop.
sound. Can you please tell the court reporter your full name and how you spell it?
Sure. My name is Michelle Shepard.
Wait, might be.
Michelle is spelled
She's not a badge.
M-I-C-H-E-L-L-E. Shepard is S-H-E-P-H-E-R-D.
Can you tell the jury where you were working in December of 2022?
Yes, at the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the Division of Forensic Sciences, otherwise known as the State Crime Lab, in the Coastal Lab in Pooler.
So you worked at the Coastal Lab?
I did.
Okay. And at that laboratory, what was your title and what were your responsibilities?
I am and was a forensic DNA analyst and biologist.
And as a forensic DNA analyst and biologist, how long were you employed in that capacity as of December 22?
Thank you. Happy birthday.
22 years.
Had you always had that same title?
Various titles with the state, but in the forensic biology section.
Okay. At some point, did you leave that position?
I did.
Why did you leave?
I left after 13 years at the headquarters lab up in Atlanta. I left to go to the private sector, still working in human identity to manage a forensic tech support and training team with a private vendor.
And so in total, how many years did you serve as a forensic biologist?
38.
Wow,
and
that's a great
are
career.
You currently working in that capacity?
I retired a year ago. So.
Okay. Can you tell us what educational background you were required to achieve to be able to perform that position?
Sure. I received my Bachelor of Science in Laboratory Technology from Auburn University. And while I was in school, I actually worked with the Alabama Crime Lab system. I received training upon my graduation once I started at the headquarters lab with GBI, and received advanced DNA analysis methods training at the FBI Academy in Quantico. I do have graduate coursework through the University of Virginia and the University of Alabama at Birmingham.
Were you required when you became a member of the GBI to do any initial training prior to taking on your own individual casework?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long was that process?
Over a year and a half, probably.
We've heard testimony already about what peer review is.
Yes.
Is your work in the biology section also peer reviewed?
Yes, ma'am. In the forensic biology section, 100% of our results are technically and administratively peer reviewed.
And does that mean somebody analyzes the work you did to ensure that it's accurate?
Yes, if I can elaborate. It means that another qualified DNA analyst reviews all of my notes, all of my controls and standards and results, and ensures that they would come to the exact same conclusions that I did.
Can you describe for the jury what the responsibilities are of a forensic biologist or DNA analyst?
Certainly. We receive evidence from peace officers submitted from across the state of Georgia to generate or develop DNA profiles from that evidence from body fluids and stains of body fluids.
What types of body fluids do you examine in your position?
Primarily blood, semen, and saliva.
And are you able to also analyze substances other than just fluids?
Yes.
What else do you analyze?
Tissues, bones, organs.
Is that anything that potentially might have DNA?
Correct.
Okay. And sometimes, just to be clear, is DNA always in, meaning human form, meaning, I guess I'm trying to be clear on how I phrase this. You've mentioned a lot of things that are human body, organs, or tissue. Can you retrieve DNA from other substances that are not necessarily human?
Yes. All living things have DNA, so DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It's a chemical that's found in virtually every cell in the human body and in all living things.
And the crime laboratory, do they only handle human organisms?
Sometimes.
Careful how you say that word.
They're mixed with bacteria, which are living things, and other organisms. But the testing that we do is directed and specific for human and higher primates.
And are you trained in the handling and preservation of those biological samples?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell the jury what that process involves?
So DNA is a protein, so it is susceptible to the environment, UV light, sunlight, heat, humidity. Those things are detrimental to DNA and can start to break it down. So we always want to preserve the evidence that may contain DNA in a manner that will preserve whatever is already deposited.
And are you able to ensure that protocol is in place at the crime laboratory as well?
Yes.
And can you tell the jury how you do that within the crime laboratory?
So within the lab, once an item of evidence is submitted by a peace officer, our evidence tech staff will take that item out of a lockbox. It's like a locker that the officer deposits the evidence in sealed packaging, and then our evidence retrieval on the opposite side. They will open the package, describe it, and apply a unique crime lab case number, item number, and description into the computer, so that as that item of evidence moves throughout the lab, what we call a chain of custody is maintained, so that it's tracked and documented who had access to that item of evidence as it moves through the lab.
And in order to do that, do you oftentimes affix any information on a sample?
Yes, we, or the bag, the packaging containing that sample, there'll be a barcode, and as we transfer that evidence, we ourselves have identification tags that we scan that barcode and enter a PIN number, just like you would at an ATM, to track what individual had access to that item, or if we're placing it in a vault or an evidence locker, those have barcodes as well.
Now, can you explain to the jury a little bit what DNA actually is?
Sure. So, as I said, it stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It's a chemical that's in almost every cell in our bodies. There's really about 4 things for you to really recall or know about DNA.
You get half from your father, half
The
from your
first
mother.
is that we are all unique. So at the union of sperm and egg, we get half our DNA from our father and half from our mother. So when those combine to create a new human being, that person's DNA is set at conception and remains the same throughout their life and even past death. So that's very important to know, that unless you have an identical sibling, there's no one that's going to have the same DNA as you. Secondly, the DNA molecule, although microscopic, is long, and the majority of that DNA is the same from human being to human being. And that makes sense if you think about all of the multitude of enzymes and proteins that the DNA codes for in our bodies. But there's also a portion of the DNA that is very different from person to person. And that's the areas of the DNA that forensic scientists study or interrogate. Thirdly, if you take a cell from my foot or my liver or a buccal swab, the lining of my cheek, all of that DNA from one person's body is the same. So that allows us to compare, say, sperm cells to blood cells to saliva. And those are important things to remember in a forensic context about DNA.
And so you indicated those specific unique areas are what you focus on, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. How do you determine whether a biological sample is suitable for DNA analysis?
So a portion of our protocols or procedures are to, once we break open the cells and get to the DNA, if you will, we perform a step called quantitation, and that is where we're quantifying or finding out about how much DNA is present in a sample and the quality or how suitable that DNA is to move forward in the procedures.
Is every biological sample then eligible for DNA analysis?
Not always. Sometimes samples will be too degraded, which means the protein DNA has been broken down or degraded to the point that it's not suitable to give us results.
What about quantity? Does that bar you from being able to do DNA analysis at sometimes?
Sometimes it does. If we don't have enough, or if the pieces, if you will, of DNA are not large enough, we are unable to get a result. One of the beauties of DNA is it doesn't morph or change into something else. It fades so that we get no result instead of we don't get a different result, we just get no result.
And does DNA remain after death?
Yes.
Does the GBI Coastal Crime Laboratory have accreditation for DNA analysis?
Yes.
And was that current at the time that you were working there on this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain to the jury what type of DNA analysis you perform at the GBI Coastal Crime Laboratory?
So one of the services we perform is DNA typing, where we have an unknown from a crime scene, say a car has been broken into and there's blood there. The officer will submit a swabbing of that sample, and we develop a profile from that using a very stepwise procedure called a protocol, very similar to if you're cooking in a kitchen, you're going to follow a recipe. So we follow those stepwise steps. The first is extraction, where we're going to take a small cutting of that swab or that tissue from a crime scene and place it in a test tube. And we add chemicals and detergents that break open the cells and remove the other proteins that are not useful to our studies. The next step is the quantitation that I talked about, where we're determining how much DNA is there and if it's suitable for additional testing. The next step is called amplification, and this is where we make millions, if not billions, of copies of the regions of the DNA that we want to study. And we do that using different instruments in the laboratory. Then the next step is to analyze or separate all of those pieces of DNA, and we use an instrument that produces a graph, a printout with a series of peaks and valleys that has letters and numbers associated with those, and that is what we refer to as a DNA profile. And that profile is unique to each individual. So we've done that for the unknown, and then separate in time and space, we perform those same steps with a known, a sample that is collected through venipuncture, so a blood sample, or from autopsy, or from the lining of someone's cheek. That is considered a known because we know who that came from. And then we compare those two profiles to see if they're the same or different. If they are different, that's called an exclusion, and that means that that known person could not have contributed that unknown sample from the car in my example. But if we compare them and they are the same, that's called an inclusion or a match. People refer to it as a match. And then we use statistics to develop a frequency to relay how common or rare that match would be in the community.
And so are those the steps that were taken in connection with this case?
Yes.
Okay. Approximately how many forensic cases, I said approximately, have you worked in your career?
It's going to be a big number. Thousands.
Tens of thousands.
Wow. And in each case, is there more than one sample?
Usually, yes.
So that tens of thousands is multiplied by however many samples were in each case?
Correct.
Now, do you only do DNA analysis for criminal investigations?
Yes, with the state of Georgia.
Okay.
Yes.
And when I say criminal investigations, do you handle suicides? Meaning, if there was a suicide, might you get a sample from a suicide case?
Yes.
And that
Yes.
might not have been criminal in the nature of simply somebody killed them, they took their own life, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Which is also against the law in most states.
So, no, that's okay. What about missing person cases? Do you
Yes.
sometimes do that as well?
Yes.
Okay. So it's oftentimes law enforcement that's making the submission, but you don't always yield a criminal suspect in a case, do you?
Correct.
Sometimes you said there are exclusions, right?
Yes.
So you would potentially exonerate someone even.
Well, I would exclude them, and then the court system would.
Correct. My
exonerate.
apologies. I don't
That's
mean to
fine.
put farther along, but you would indicate that that was not them.
Correct.
Okay. Now, have you ever worked on cases where DNA was not suitable?
Yes.
And how do you document that for the purposes of your records?
So for every test that we perform in the lab, we produce a written record or report to submit to the law enforcement agency that presented the evidence, as well as to the courts. So that report would read something like there was insufficient or inadequate DNA, so not enough DNA for further testing.
And would you then stop at that step?
Yes.
Okay. And if there is sufficient DNA to do additional testing, is that the process that you just described for the jury?
Correct.
Okay. Have you prepared reports on each of the cases that you just described in the tens of thousands that you previously worked?
Yes.
Is a report required in every case?
Yes.
And is that report also peer-reviewed?
It is.
Have you ever been asked to review or validate the work of other forensic biologists?
Yes, I am.
And would that have been done during the entire time that you were at the crime laboratory as well?
It would have, yes.
Have you previously been qualified as an expert in forensic biology in the courts of this state or any other jurisdiction?
Yes.
Can you tell us approximately how many times?
Over 300.
And in that capacity, was that in the field of forensic biology?
And DNA analysis.
And
yes.
DNA analysis. Have you ever provided testimony, or rather been asked to provide testimony where you were denied expert status?
No, ma'am.
And can you explain to the jury where you've testified? What parts of the state?
All over the state of Georgia, in federal courts in Wisconsin, civil courts in Wisconsin and California. Yes.
So all over the country, not just Georgia?
Yes.
Okay. At this time, Your Honor, the state would like to tender Michelle Shepard as an expert in the field of forensic biology and DNA analysis.
Any questions from the defense?
No questions.
Tash, thank you so much. 22 months, OG.
Is qualified in the field of forensic biology. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Shepard, were you provided with biological evidence to analyze in connection with the case that we are here for today?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you, in fact, perform the analysis on those substances?
I did.
And ultimately, did you generate a report in connection with this case?
Yes, I did.
In fact, did you do more than one report?
Yeah, I did, yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask that I show the witness 1.69 and 1.70. I'm showing them to counsel. They've been pre-marked, Your Honor. Thank you. May I approach?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm showing you these two reports. If you could just take a look at those.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize those reports?
I do.
And how do you recognize them?
I recognize states 1.69 and 1.70 as the reports of my testing at the crime laboratory for the case with the victim as UID Liberty, which is unidentified from Liberty County, case number 2022-600-7185.
And is your signature affixed to those reports?
It is.
Is that your actual signature?
An electronic signature, yes.
But it's the one that you placed on it electronically?
Yes.
Are those exact photocopies of the reports that you generated in connection with this case?
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, Your Honor, I seek to tender 1.69 and 1.70.
Any objection? No objection, Your Honor. They are admitted.
Thank you. I'm now approaching, Your Honor, with that was 1.69 and 1.70, correct?
Correct.
That's our defendant right there with the pen, yellow shirt.
May I approach, Your Honor, with these additional exhibits?
The defendant in this trial is charged with murdering his wife, dismembering her body, and
I'm handing
dumping
you
it
what
in the
has
forest
already
in a
been
3-mile
introduced
radius.
as exhibits 1.63, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I'm going to ask you if you recognize what those are.
Yes, ma'am.
And what are those?
So I recognize States Exhibit 1.63 through 1.67 as sealed envelopes that we received from autopsy with various blood-stained cards from partial human remains.
And when you say you received them from autopsy, would that have been from a medical examiner?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have any initials or signatures on any of those exhibits, I believe it's 6.3 through 6.7?
I do. In each of these envelopes, which is sealed, there is a unique crime lab case number, item number, barcode, my initials, and the date that I analyzed these, as well as on the seals, have my initials and the date in my handwriting.
So if you were to receive an item in a closed fashion, meaning sealed,
correct,
how do you make sure that it gets not tampered with?
So the rule is you always, you don't want to, if it's possible, open on someone else's seal. So you create a new opening with scissors or a razor. Again, this is in the laboratory with all personal protective equipment on in a sterile environment. And then once I analyze it, I affix the evidence tape and seal it with my initials and the date as it's to be passed to an evidence locker or another individual for further testing.
And is that done on every sample?
Yes.
If I may approach, Your Honor.
Yes.
I'm going to trade you.
Okay. Hanging with Yins, congratulations, 24 months. Thank you, OG.
I'm going to publish, Your Honor, if that's okay.
You may.
1.63. My apologies. There is a short line in that. It's okay. I'm pointing to the lower right-hand portion where there is a barcode. Is that correct?
Yes.
What are those numbers right there?
So the 2022 dash is the crime lab case number that was assigned on entry of this evidence. So each item in this case will have that unique identifier, and then below it is, it says SUBM, that is submission number 5 in this case.
And so if I scroll in close, and I turn this on its side so it's easier,
Okay.
What is right here? Do you see that?
I'm sorry, I didn't see what you're pointing to.
Right here, along the tape.
Oh, the red evidence tape on the short side of the envelope, and written on the envelope as well as the tape is MS, that's my initials, and the date, which is 12/13/22.
And so would it be fair to say that on each of these exhibits, that same procedure, we're just placing them on top of each other. I'm now showing 1.64, 1.67, 1.66, and 1.65. That same procedure was taken with respect to all of those cards?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you received them, were they in a sealed condition?
Yes.
And what did you do with these cards when you received them?
So the service that was requested was to develop DNA profiles from each of these bloodstain cards to see if they originated from the same individual.
So at the time you received them, was there any marking on the card to indicate for you what portion of the remains it was from?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show it again.
Migraine Mama.
Quicker by Elmo.
Thank you for 12 months.
I don't know if that's the technological word for that, but the overhead presenter.
Okay.
It's the brand
And I'm
name.
going to scroll in here, and on the
Elmo,
lower left
add to the
corner,
brand names.
is there a label affixed to 1.65?
Yes, ma'am. It
ahead.
says UID Liberty WF, which is unidentified, remains from Liberty County, W for white, F for female, and then right leg.
I'm now showing 1.66.
This one is from left leg.
1.67.
It's labeled head.
And 1.64.
Torso, spleen.
And 1.63.
Torso.
So were there in total then 5 separate bloodstain cards that you received?
Yes.
And did you create a profile for each of these 5 portions of the remains?
I developed a profile using the procedure that I described earlier for each of these samples.
Without sounding graphic, you did not receive her remains, correct?
Correct.
Just those cards?
That is correct.
Okay. And can you tell the jury, did you follow that same procedure and protocol for each and every one of those 5 samples?
I did.
How did you do that with a bloodstain card?
So the bloodstain card contains a piece of material, kind of like a piece of gauze or a piece of paper. And so I took with sterile scissors a small cutting of that and put it in a tube and subjected it to our procedures.
Okay. And were you able to obtain a profile on each of those 5 bloodstain cards?
I was, yes.
And what were the results and findings of your analysis?
So DNA was isolated from each of the 5 cards we just presented. And the DNA obtained from each item contains a single profile of the same individual.
So at that time, although she was still unidentified white female, would it be fair to say that we knew then that she was at least all the same person?
That is correct.
Okay. And did you document that in your report?
I did.
If I can approach, Your Honor. Can I have 1.69, please?
You may.
Thank you. May I publish, Your Honor?
Katrina Bunny, thanks for keeping track of all the brands listed in this trial. We've had quite a few.
In that very first paragraph there's a whole lot of letters and numbers.
Yes.
Can you explain to the jury what a loci is?
Yes, so a loci is a locus, is single, loci is plural. It's a location. Think of it as a street address for DNA. So it tells a DNA analyst where on the molecule exactly, very specifically, we are getting results.
I started during the Darrell Brooks
trial. Were those
trial.
the loci that you were looking for to determine those unique characteristics
Almost
for
3
each
years.
individual person?
Yes.
And now you mentioned some statistical data. Can you tell us what the frequency was in this case?
Yes, so the fourth paragraph reads, the frequency in which the profile obtained from these 5 bloodstained cards would be expected to occur in a given population in approximately 1 in 300 septillion.
Do you know how many zeros is a septillion?
There are 24 zeros in septillion.
So 300 would be the number 3 with 26 zeros after it?
Correct.
That's the likelihood of it being the same person, correct?
That is an approximation of how many other individual DNA profiles I would have to look at before I would expect to find another just like this.
That's 26, right? Zeros?
Correct.
And after you made that first analysis, did you then subsequently make the report we just looked at?
Yes.
And can you tell the jury, did you know who that person was by the profile?
No.
Why not?
In forensics, we have to have a known to compare it to see if they're the same or different. And at that point in time, there was no known reference sample to compare it to.
Would it be fair to say, again, I'll just show it to you, that this report, I'm showing it to the witness, Your Honor, was generated
The witness wasn't looking.
back on December, up here.
Yes, 16th.
December 16th. So in December 16th of 2022, you didn't have a known sample to compare it to yet, did you?
Correct.
Okay.
Virginia,
Can you tell the jury
OG?
what CODIS is? C-O-D-I-S.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
thank
so
you.
CODIS is an acronym that stands for the Combined DNA Indexing System. It is a series of computers and software curated and managed by the FBI that allows forensics and law enforcement to compare samples to individuals and individuals to... It allows us to compare evidence profiles to evidence profiles, as well as evidence profiles to individuals.
Is there a very specific protocol for what is allowed to be in the CODIS system?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So only if those are in compliance would it be within CODIS?
Correct.
Now, does that allow you an opportunity to attempt to try to identify an unknown sample, even if you don't have a known sample?
Yes.
Doesn't always work, though, does it?
Correct.
Okay. So it's just one step in the process that is an option to try.
Yes.
Now, can you tell the jury what a buccal swab is?
So a buccal swab or a buccal swab, depending on different people say it different ways, it's spelled B-U-C-C-A-L, and that is a cell that lines different orifices in our bodies. People usually refer to a buccal swab as taken from the inside lining of your cheek.
And can you tell the jury what is the difference between genetic genealogy and DNA?
So DNA testing and typing is done in the forensic laboratories across the world to compare knowns to unknowns to see if they have the same individual contributing that unknown sample. Genetic genealogy is another branch of forensics that seeks to use still DNA technology, but to build family trees to see, since I've testified to the fact that we get half our DNA from our father and half from our mother, we share DNA with our parents and also with closely related individuals. And genetic genealogy studies and expounds that to try to develop leads and generate closely related individuals.
So when you actually have a DNA sample, in this case you were able to actually analyze the material beyond just potentially genetic genealogy. Is that correct? I mean, maybe that's the wrong way to phrase it. Can you just describe then the difference between the two of them, what they can do? Does that make sense, what I'm asking? If I need to rephrase it, I can. I'll withdraw the question. What I'm asking you essentially is DNA analysis of an actual sample able to give you a definitive result? Meaning, in this case, you produced an actual profile, correct?
Yes.
And you were able to determine whether or not in that frequency those each, and I will use the word match, but to that frequency were the same sample profiles.
Correct.
And you indicated that they were?
Yes.
Okay.
I rescue
now,
dogs. Congratulations.
With respect to the
29
buccal swab,
months.
I believe you called it a buccal swab,
Oh,
that was used. Did you have a buccal swab in this case at some point?
Yes, I did.
And do you have that up in front of you now?
I do.
Can you tell us what exhibit number that is?
So I identify states 1.71 as my crime lab case number associated with this case. It is item number 61, and it is labeled buccal swabs collected from Betsy Mebane.
Okay. And can you tell us, how does one collect a buccal swab?
So a medical practitioner or law enforcement agent will take a cotton-tipped applicator, it's like a big Q-tip, and just simply swab the inside of your cheek, and that removes the cells of your cheek and then places that in a container to air dry and then places it in an envelope.
And do you recognize that to be the buccal swab that you received in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time I would seek to tender that exhibit before the court.
No objection.
Thank you. May I have that for just a moment?
Yes.
May I publish, Your Honor? I'm going to just show it to the jury. And does this swab ultimately have the exact same procedure and protocol with the barcode and your initials that you just previously described?
Yes, it does.
Apparently my
And I am not going to open
big
this
dill
here.
drive is not working
That's
right.
best.
This contains biological evidence, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you would have opened this in a sterilized environment?
Correct, with gloves and a mask and face shield and lab coat, etc.
Is that how you handle every sample?
Yes.
Okay. So this sample, what did you do with it?
So that is considered a known. So on receipt of that, I submitted it to the same procedures that I've described and made a comparison of the profile that was generated from that sample to the previous 5 envelopes.
And were you able to generate sufficient DNA to create a sample from that buccal swab?
I was, yes.
And did you, in fact, compare it to the 5 portions that you just described previously?
I did.
And what were your findings as a result?
That my conclusions are that Betsy Mebane is not excluded as the biological parent or biological relative of the bloodstain cards, the 5 bloodstain cards, with a probability of maternity of 99.9999%.
Can you tell us why it isn't 100? How does that work?
So, first of all, we only had one alleged parent to make a comparison to. And secondly, it's not feasible to develop a DNA profile from every individual. Then that might be 100.
Okay. So is this the strongest statistical number that is achievable in a DNA laboratory?
For maternity or paternity, yes.
So 99.9999%.
Yes, ma'am.
If I may have that second laboratory report, I'm going to need the Elmo, please. Madam Clerk, can we turn this? And up here, this report reflects your documentation of this case number?
Correct.
I'm showing Exhibit 1.70. Does that reflect the name of the individual whose sample was submitted?
Yes.
And that's what makes it a known sample?
Correct.
And then down here at the bottom, there is a listing of, quote, probability of maternity. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's the reference you just gave us to the statistics?
Correct.
Thank you. Now, I would like to just ask you, you indicated earlier that there are some things that can impact DNA negatively.
Yes.
And I believe you said UV light, sunlight, some other factors. What happens with water? Can moisture in any way impact DNA?
Certainly, it's biological material, so it can be washed away.
And if I were to, my apologies, for example, brush against someone else, as I've just done in the courtroom, and I used my actual person as opposed to my clothing, can you describe for the jury what that is in DNA analysis?
We refer to that as contact or touch DNA, and there is a principle in forensics that there's a transfer of cells, however microscopic or small that amount may be, with each and every contact.
Is it possible that the contact leaves enough DNA to analyze?
Sometimes, yes.
Is it possible that it doesn't leave enough DNA?
Sometimes, yes.
And so initially in the processes you described, you said quantification?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
My apologies to the jury. And amplification, correct?
Yes.
So if that touch did not leave enough DNA, would you know that?
Through our testing, yes.
Okay. And even if it left some, there still may not be enough to do anything with.
That's correct.
Okay. How do chemicals affect DNA, like cleaning fluids?
So different detergents and cleaning fluids are all going to have a detrimental effect on our ability to develop a profile from DNA testing.
What about friction, meaning rubbing or wiping? What impact might that have on DNA?
Again, it depends on the vigorousness of the friction or the washing, or if it's just a light brush or a very brief exposure. All those things are going to impact our ability to develop a profile.
In this case, did you do a run through the CODIS system of the profile you generated?
I was instructed to upload this profile, the profile from the 5 envelopes from the human remains to the CODIS unidentified remains index. I did.
Did you have any feedback prior to receiving the known sample from
I did
CODIS?
not.
So nothing was in CODIS to compare her to?
Correct.
Okay. So ultimately, when you were able to get the known sample, is that when you were finally able to have confirmation of the remains?
That is correct.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Counsel, cross-examination.
Not sure what he's going to ask here that could really
Good morning.
add to the case.
I'm
Maybe
Doug
just a couple
Weinstein. I
questions.
represent Mr. Kassotis in this case. You were talking about contact DNA or touch DNA. If I pick up a bottle of Coca-Cola and I drink it, will I leave DNA around that bottle?
Theoretically, yes.
Where would that DNA be found on the bottle?
It could be found around the rim where your mouth has contact and where you grasp the bottle to drink it.
Would any possibly be found inside the bottle as well?
It's possible.
Okay. What about with a Coke can? Would you find DNA around that Coke can as well?
Again, similarly, it would depend, but around the mouth area where you take a drink and then where it's handled to pick up the can.
And you said that, I guess the elements like water or rain could in some way impact the finding of DNA, correct?
Yes.
But it's still possible to find DNA on a bottle or a can that has been exposed to the weather, correct?
Sometimes, yes.
And even if it's exposed to rain, correct?
Sometimes, yes.
Sunlight, correct?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Is it also sometimes no?
Correct.
So you don't know unless you actually have it, is what it comes down to, right?
And we perform the test, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You're excused.
Thank
Computer.
Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, we'll let you step out while they set this up.
We'll need to just.
Right. Okay.
Just need a 10-minute break while we set things up. All right, DNA evidence in. It was refreshing to hear her, because she didn't give like the memorized speech and explanation that we often get from what I'll say is younger DNA, some of the newer blood in the forensic analysis scene. It seems like they were taught and forced to memorize something in school that's recounted verbatim oftentimes. So it was nice to hear the way she explained it in a very clear way. Did enjoy that testimony, but basically all the parts matched. That's what we know. And that they didn't know who it was because they didn't already have her information in the system. For being a patent attorney, yes, Mr. Weinstein sure mentions Coca-Cola a lot, knowing that he can't get sued by them for what he says here in court. She was awesome on the stand. Testimony was clear and to the point. Allison, I was late, was on the beach. Well, Allison, why didn't you take us with you? We just got the DNA evidence from basically from the body parts that were collected. We got all that, just came in through Miss Shepard or Mrs. Shepard, a retired forensic scientist, DNA analyst, 38 years of experience. That is no small thing. That's really cool. All right. Having trouble. My big dill drive is offline, and I have no idea why. Should I just eject the drives? Oh, they're dusty. This is big dill. You can't tell, but it's a Samsung SSD. Hot swappable, in theory. Just ejected big dill 2 as well. See if that fixed it. Greeners, for those that are asking, on Big Dill, I store all the recorded video. So that's where it's a network attached storage for courts we're watching. It just dropped off the network, like everything lost connection. It's clearly some sort of IP issue. Greeners, that would be you. Back it up to my iCloud, he says. The problem is the internet's not fast enough for the amount of data we store and read off that drive at the same time. Strange looking dill, yes. Dill is down right now. I think what I need to do is bounce my network and reassign, just hand out new IPs all around, and that'll fix everything. But I'm not going to do that till tonight because that would cause a problem with the live stream and every other thing that's connected to it. Do we need it for the lawyer show cause hearing? No, I've got a backup. I also have these are 128 gigabyte memory cards that I can record to, which they can store about 4 hours of HD video each. And so I have a lot of those, like 6 of those. So should be good. I do know jurors are asking for dire if gruesome and graphic photos would be problematic for them and or offensive. They will never have to have a jury sit that can't handle it. Right. So they did all. I'm not so sure if they like willingly said, sure, sign me up for that. But they said, I can do that. And because of that, here we are. Big Dill's mad you left him at home when you went to Bear Lake. I did. I'm sorry. But there's like nothing to this drive. It's basically, I'm using the Blackmagic Cloud Dock 2, which has 2 SSD drives. Oh, there's my favorite camera. My favorite exit sign. So all it has on the back is a USB-C connection and a network connection and power cord. I don't use the USB-C. I'm just using the network connection and the power cord. It has power, so it must be the network that's the problem. It's simple troubleshooting at play here. Candy Kiss says, I'm finding this trial a slow one to get into. I'm not sure why you have me waiting through with what you said about what's to come. Now, there's going to be some good stuff. I'm putting it out there now that this one is going to grow on people. It was difficult, especially to start, but I think we're getting into once we start getting into his actions, his stories, what he did to try to cover up and evade capture and discovery, I think it's going to be fascinating. Favorite exit sign is a country song title. Yeah, so once we start hearing about Jim McIntyre, it's gonna get really good. Barb, I answered your question. Military only deals with military court violations or military violations or things that happen when you're like on duty. This was just a civilian murder. This is not true. No truth to the screeners. I think it'll get crazy when it's defense's case. I think so as well. And I think on some of the witnesses we'll start to see that. But we have to get out of the police witnesses, out of the investigation, into people that knew or were around or lived by. Or we need those people for the cross-examination to start to get really interesting. No worries, Barb. It's all good. Sometimes I just hold up the sign, a yes and no. I did that for you earlier, but it's easy to miss. And sometimes I just don't answer questions. I do ignore questions sometimes. If they're not timely, like if there's a question that's being asked that completely takes us away from what we're focusing on, sometimes I'll skip them. I do that. Sorry. Police interview will be epic. I agree, Chris. I'm looking forward to that. We've got all the bug testimony to go yet. Oh, man. That's going to be fun. Greeners, you have to walk carefully today. I know you are the internet owner, but you don't want to be timed out for the big show tonight, do you? So I'm sure you want to be present for that. Big Sky DMC member for 29 months. Says 29 months watching the Best Law Tube on YouTube. Great day here in Montana, 78 degrees, no wind. Next couple of days, not so much. Thanks, Ari, and the great mods. Thank you, Big Sky. Congratulations on did I say 28? 29 months. That's awesome. Yes, I do have a blind react to a video that was taken of me that I'm in from 13, 14 years ago. You guys are not going to wreck it. I'm a different person. I'm like half of me is there. And just to, I'll give you a little preface, just to show you how nervous I am on camera. Watch what I do with my hands in these videos. I had no idea what to do with my hands. Sometimes I stuffed them in my pockets, which is a terrible look. I dressed myself, I think, for all of the videos. So my style was like blue on blue and gray on gray and things like that, and weird colors. I struggled. Yep. Anyway, it's going to be fun. I'm asking Amber to redact a couple things only because I have concerns about something that went viral on the same channel previously.
We ready?
That we tried to squash because it was making fun of somebody, one of our classmates, and it was just not. It was not good. I think we squashed it pretty well. But. Oh, I'll be laughing right along with you. Candy Kiss, no trials are confirmed until they actually start, and even then they can go off the rails. That's why we don't announce far in advance. What are we doing here? Jury comes in. Donna Adelson is the next one we're sort of looking at that should start about the time this one stops. There might be a tiny bit of overlap. Depends on the schedule. But yeah, that's sort of next one we've got our eye on.
All right, everyone, please be seated. Counsel, you may proceed.
Take home Jack Frost.
Jack Frost. The one, the only Jack Frost. Please come to courtroom number 1. This is a private attorney. You may recognize him from the YSL trial, or is it Young Thug?
Good morning, sir. Please raise your right hand and take the...
Do you swear and affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Please be seated.
He's the toe nipper. That's him. That's who we got, the one, the only.
State your name for the jury, please.
Yes, my name is James Frost, also known by Jack Frost.
How do you spell your last name?
F-R-O-S-T.
Where are you currently employed?
With the District Attorney's Office.
In what capacity?
As an investigator.
In this circuit?
That's correct.
How long have you been an investigator in this circuit?
For about 2.5, 3 years.
Prior to this position, where were you employed?
With Liberty County Sheriff's Office.
In what capacity?
As an investigator.
How long have you spent in law enforcement throughout your entire career?
Been in law enforcement for 25 years.
So let me direct your attention to Friday, December 2nd, 2022. Were you the on-call detective on that date?
I was.
And did you have occasion to be dispatched to a particular location?
I did.
Where was that?
It was off of Barrington Ferry Road on a dirt logging road.
And did you respond to that location?
I did.
And when you got there, what did you find?
There was a deceased female torso that was missing 2 legs and a head.
And where was that torso located? What county?
It was in Liberty County.
And are you familiar with that part of Liberty County?
I am.
How familiar are you?
Fairly familiar. It's pretty rural and planted pines and swamp area. And there's also a historical site not far from there.
Describe the weather conditions that day and the days leading up to that day.
It was kind of unseasonably cool for November for southeast Georgia. I believe the lows had gotten in like the 40s and 50s for a couple of nights up to the 2nd.
Did you manipulate that torso in any way whatsoever?
I did touch a piece of it while I was taking pictures, but other than that, it was not moved from its location.
So you were close enough to the torso that you were able to touch it?
That's correct.
Did you detect any odor?
Not really.
Who all was on the scene when you arrived?
There were several hunters in the roadway. Down with the deputy, it was Shane Martin and Brian Del Rio, and then there was Lieutenant Anthony Brown that was also on scene in the setting of crime scene tape.
Do you recall about what time of day it was?
It was around 1650, which is 4 p.m., 4 to 5 p.m. is when the call came out.
What were the daylight conditions like?
It was dusk.
How long did you remain at the scene?
Until about 2 a.m. on the 3rd.
And while you were at the scene, attending the torso that had been found, was anything else found by any other person?
There was a black Husky tote and a Milwaukee brand knife that was discovered just at the entrance of the logging road where it met Barrington Ferry Road.
And were you present when the knife and the tote was discovered?
That's correct, I was.
I'm showing you what's been admitted as State's Exhibit number 2.7. Do you recognize this picture?
Yes, sir, I do.
What is that picture?
That's the Milwaukee brand knife.
About to hear more about Home Depot.
Did you return to that same general area the following day, Saturday, December the 3rd?
I did.
For what purpose?
To look in the ditch lines. That road, that logging road, traveled for a mile or better back and made a loop back into Barrington Ferry Road. just to see if there was any other items that we could find and have the advantage of daylight.
Did you find it, you yourself find anything of interest?
I did not.
Was Philip McCallor present during the time you were there?
Not when I was there originally. Earlier in the day, he was not.
Later?
Yes,
Earlier?
sir. Later in the day.
And did he make a discovery?
He did.
And did you go to the location of where he made that discovery?
I did.
And when you got to that location, what did you observe?
That he had discovered a right leg in a wooded area as he went to a food plot to put out corn for hunting.
And what did you do after he discovered the right leg?
When I responded on scene, I contacted Agent Sains with GBI, advised him of the discovery, also contacted McIntosh County because we were in the McIntosh County jurisdiction at that time.
Now, when you were there the day before on December 2nd, do you recall having a conversation with Special Agent Sains?
In reference to?
Who was going to be the lead agency, who was going to assist?
Correct.
Do you recognize Agent Sains in the courtroom?
I do.
Where is he seated?
He's sitting right there, prosecution table in the middle.
And you, acting as representative of the Laramie County Sheriff's Office, requested the GBI to do what?
For any type of investigative assistance and to become lead agency in the investigation.
Now, as you stood by the right leg found by Mr. McCallor, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, how long did you remain with that leg?
I would say probably I was on scene for maybe about an hour and a half, 2 hours, best I can recall.
And you remained with the leg until what happened?
Until the county coroner arrived.
And what happened then?
He collected it and transported it to the morgue.
This is the second chair prosecutor.
Did you then have occasion on Monday, December 5th, to return to that area?
I did.
For what purpose?
Agent Sains had organized a search with cadaver dogs for the area.
And did you participate in that search?
I did.
Did you find anything?
After the cadaver dogs had cleared the area where Philip McCallor had discovered the leg, the canine handlers advised that it was safe for us to walk through there without contaminating any scent trails or anything that they would be interested in. And we began just searching the grounds, walking through in a semi-grid pattern, found a disturbed area of dirt that appeared to be done by some type of tool consistent with a shovel mark.
And where was that disturbed area of dirt?
I believe the logging road was named Branson Place, and this was the food plot. It's like an improved road where they were where Philip McCallor was putting the corn out for the deer.
And that disturbed area of dirt was in what relationship to where the right leg had been found?
In like an approximation of feet or yards?
Yes.
I would say it's probably between 20 and 50 yards from where the leg was discovered.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness throughout his testimony?
Yes, sir.
I'm showing you now what's marked as State's Exhibit number 210A. Do you recognize that?
I do.
What is that a picture of?
A picture of me pointing to the disturbed area on the ground.
I'm showing you now State's Exhibit number 210B.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
That's a close-up image of the disturbed area on the ground.
And where do you see the disturbed area in that photograph?
In the middle where the dirt's overturned and on top of the pine straw and leaves.
Any items in there that appear to be cut or damaged?
There was some roots here in the middle that were cut.
Do they fairly and accurately depict the disturbed area of dirt as you've testified?
They do.
I'll tender at this time State's Exhibit 210A and 210B.
Any objection? No objection. They're both admitted.
Just to keep it simple, may the witness step down and publish these to the jury. Yes. You'll come down here to deck the cross. And we'll do it on both ends of the jury box. I'm showing you first State's Exhibit number 210. Describe for the jury what this picture shows.
That's me standing off the area. This was to the left here is where basically an improved trail, like a fire break that had been used several times for them to plant a food plot in. and that's the area of disturbed dirt that is overturned and sitting on top of the pine straw.
All right, here's State's Exhibit 210B.
And this is the area of disturbed dirt where this dirt is on top of the pine straw and leaves. And right here in the middle, there is a root that has been cut on one end that's kind of pried up, sticking out of the ground.
And if you do the same thing on the other end, starting with 210A.
Apparently this guy doesn't know how to use an
Again,
elbow.
you see the dirt on top of the pine straw and stuff. It was sitting on top of the ground.
And 210B.
And kind of a ditch line here, and that's the piece of root right there.
Thank you. You have a seat. On the day, that same day, on December 5th, 2022, were you present when the canines found an object?
Correct, I was.
And what object was that was found?
I believe it was the left leg.
Was there any damage to the foot on that leg?
There was a presence of insect and animal activity.
And what did you do with respect to the discovery of the leg?
I just responded to the location, waited on Special Agent Brett Dickerson to come. He was there with us as well.
And when Investigator Dickerson arrived, was the leg in the same condition as it was when you first observed it?
Yes, sir.
Was there a discovery made shortly after the left leg was discovered?
Yes, sir, there was.
And what was that?
A gray Sterilite brand container.
Did you see it?
I did.
Sterilite brand.
Did you look inside of it?
I did.
What was inside?
There was a mixture of a brownish red liquid and leaf material.
Did you return to this same general area on Wednesday, December 7th, 2022?
I did.
For what purpose?
To conduct another search, follow-up search with one of the cadaver dogs. Their team had decided, after reviewing the locations they had traveled, any areas of interest that the dogs might have shown interest in a scent trail, for us to continue looking and also to look manually on the ground just by walking around for anything that might be of interest, any items of evidence.
Did you find anything?
I did.
What did you find?
A human head.
What led to the discovery of the head?
Driving down again, I believe the road's called Branson Place. It's not an official road. It's like a logging trail. Driving down, looking in the ditch line, it was getting dusk, and there was among the planted pines on the edge of the road, there's a live oak tree. And I was using that to kind of block the sun out of my eyes, and when I could look between that tree and another tree next to it, there appeared to be an area of disturbed dirt behind it that stood out from the rest, as it didn't have the same amount of leaf covering and stuff on it.
So I'm showing you now what's marked as State's Exhibit number 2.16. Do you recognize that?
I do.
What is that a picture of?
That's a picture of my vehicle near the oak tree, along with a yellow evidence marker by an area of disturbed dirt.
Who put that evidence marker there?
I did.
And what is the evidence marker depicting?
That's the location where the head was located.
And does this photograph fairly and accurately depict the scene as you found it that day?
It does.
I'm showing you now what's marked as State's Exhibit number 2.17. Do you recognize that picture?
I do.
What's that a picture of?
A picture of a human head.
Had it been touched or handled in any way at the time that photograph was taken?
Yes, sir. At the time this photograph was taken, we had tried to remove some of the loose dirt, as it was kind of sandy, loose soil, and once we got to a point where the dirt wasn't freely falling off, we relocated it to a body bag.
And I'm showing you now State's Exhibit 2.18. and ask if you can identify that.
I can.
What is it?
It's the same head.
Is it any different than the previous picture?
In this one, we open the eyes to see the eye color.
And what color are those eyes?
In this picture, they're brown.
And can you recognize a nose and a mouth?
Not clearly, no, sir.
And does this photograph fairly and accurately depict the head that you found?
Yes, sir, it does.
So I'll tender at this time State's Exhibit 216, 217, and 218.
It is, sir.
No objection, Judge.
So you're all admitted.
And I would request at this time they be published to the jury via the system.
You may.
Okay. We should not see these ones open.
All right, do you see anything on your monitor?
No, sir, I do not.
Give me just a minute, Mr. Gregg is going to show up on the big TV.
Turning the system on right now.
It'll be just a second.
That's fine. If you let me know when something appears on your screen.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I'm having to get Miss Tiffany because the big screen has to be unplugged in order for it not to show on.
Okay. The hoops they're jumping through right here because the judge has ordered that these pictures not be shown to the gallery. So they've got to sort of Jimmy rig. Let's see what I did there with Jim McIntyre's name. Jimmy rig the system to only show it to the jury, the witness, the judge, defense, prosecution. I'm definitely having some internet issues. I can no longer access Amazon on my computer. Like it doesn't respond. So what's with that?
All right, sir, I have a picture.
All right. Describe for the jury what evidence exhibit number that is.
It is 2.16.
And describe what that photograph shows.
That is me standing off in the planted pines, facing back towards my vehicle on the roadway, and the yellow evidence marker in the foreground of the disturbed dirt is the location where the head was discovered.
All right, if we can publish the next exhibit. Do you see that on your screen?
Yes, sir.
What exhibit number is that?
2.17.
What does it depict?
It is a human head with dirt.
The same head you testified that you discovered?
That's correct.
State's exhibit, the next exhibit, please. Do you see it on your screen?
Yes, sir.
What's the exhibit number?
2.18.
And describe what the jurors are seeing.
The same human head, this time with the eyes a little bit more open to see the eye color.
All right, thank you. You may turn it off. Now, you worked in concert investigating this case with Investigator Sands.
That is correct.
And on May the 5th, 2023, were warrants obtained?
I'm not sure exactly the date, but that sounds close to the right around the time that warrants were secured.
For what offense?
For murder.
And who was named as the suspect in that warrant?
Nicholas Kassotis, a.k.a. Nicholas Stark.
After that arrest warrant was obtained, was the defendant arrested?
He was.
Approximately how long after the warrants were obtained?
I believe it was May 12th, I believe was the day he was arrested. So just within a few days, maybe about a week.
And on May 13th, 2023, did you accompany Agent Sands to Lancaster, Pennsylvania?
I did.
What was in Lancaster, Pennsylvania?
Mr. Kassotis.
And where was he up there?
He was in the Lancaster State Prison.
Is that a pretrial detention facility or not?
They have a facility for that inside the prison.
And why did you and Agent Sands go to that location?
To attempt to conduct an interview with Mr. Kassotis.
When you met with the defendant, did you inform him of any rights?
They were advised to him by Agent Sands.
In your presence?
That's correct.
I'm showing you an analyst marked in State's Exhibit 2.19. Can you identify that?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
It's a waiver of rights form.
Pertaining to who?
Nicholas Killian James Stark.
And can you inform the jury what rights he was advised of before your interview took place?
Yes, sir. I have the right to remain silent. Anything I say can be used against me in a court of law. I have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with me while I'm being questioned. If I cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent me before any questioning if I wish. I can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements.
Did he appear to understand those rights?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did he indicate whether or not he wished to waive those rights by signing that document?
He did.
Did he do that in your presence?
Yes, sir, he did.
And does this fairly and accurately, is this a copy of the Miranda form that you used to advise the defendant in this case of his Miranda warning rights?
Yes, sir.
And I'll tender at this time State's Exhibit 2.19.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
It is admitted.
If you will, describe the area where this interview took place.
It was in a room inside the prison. There was a table, a couple of chairs, a small window, and a couple of doors.
Was he allowed to be seated?
Yes, sir, he was.
Were you and Agent Sands sitting also?
Yes, sir, we were.
Was the defendant wearing handcuffs?
Not during that time, no, sir.
Did you or Agent Sands have weapons that were visible?
No, sir.
Did you ascertain his level of education?
Agent Sands did, yes, sir.
And what did he report was his highest level of education?
I believe he graduated as a Juris Doctorate.
An attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did he appear to be injured in any way whatsoever?
He did not.
Did he appear to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs to any degree whatsoever?
No, sir, he did not.
Was there anything unusual about his appearance?
No, sir.
Was he cooperative?
He was.
Can you describe his demeanor?
He was very calm, even keeled. He didn't show a lot of emotion, just answered questions and was openly speaking with us.
Did he seem to be aware of the circumstances surrounding this interview?
Yes, sir.
When you spoke to him, were his answers to you and Agent Sands responsive to the questions that were being asked?
Yes, sir, they were.
At any time did he invoke his right to remain silent?
No, sir, he did not.
At any time did he invoke his right to speak only with an attorney present?
No, sir, he did not.
Was there any offer of hope, of reward, or benefit in exchange for him giving a statement?
No, sir, it was not.
Was he promised any leniency in treatment if he gave a statement?
No, sir, he was not.
Was he threatened or coerced in any way whatsoever to give a statement?
No, sir, he was not.
And was this interview recorded?
It was.
How?
Audio recording.
There's no video of this interview?
No, sir.
Bummer. Wanted to see the video.
For how long did the defendant stay in the state of Pennsylvania?
Soon we'll
I
hear.
believe he was there for a period of at least 2 weeks. I believe when he came back to Georgia was May 26th.
All right, before I move on to that, I'm showing you now State's Exhibit number 2.20. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir, I do.
What is that?
It's a Georgia Bureau of Investigation waiver of constitutional rights to search warrant of a person.
And what does that seek to obtain?
On here, it's requesting a saliva sample.
And what was the date?
5/13 of 23.
And was the defendant requested to provide a sample of his saliva?
Yes, sir, it was.
And did he agree to do that?
He did.
Were there any threats or promises?
No, sir, there was not.
Did he appear to freely and voluntarily consent to the seizure of the sample of his saliva?
Yes, sir, he did.
And was that sample obtained in your presence?
It was obtained in my presence, yes, sir.
In the State's Exhibit number 2.20, a fair and accurate copy of the original consent form?
Yes, sir, it is.
I'll tender at this time State's Exhibit number 2.20.
No objection. All right, it's admitted.
And the date on this form is what?
5/13 of 23.
So that's when you were still up in Pennsylvania?
Correct.
Sometime later, the defendant was returned to the state of Georgia, is that correct?
That's correct.
On about May 26, 2023, did you come in contact with the defendant here in Liberty County?
Yes, sir, I did.
For what purpose?
To conduct a follow-up interview.
I'm showing you now what's marked the State's Exhibit number 2.21 and ask if you can identify that.
Yes, sir.
What's that a picture of?
Mr. Kassotis.
Is that how he appeared on May 26, 2023?
Yes, sir.
Is there a fair and accurate copy of the way he appeared that day?
Yes, sir, it is.
I'll tender at this time State's Exhibit number 2.21.
No objection, Your Honor. It is admitted.
Why did you come in contact with him again on May 26th?
To conduct a follow-up interview.
Were you alone or with anyone?
I was with Special Agent Sands again.
And before that interview took place, did you advise the defendant of any rights?
Special Agent Sands did again, yes, sir.
In your presence?
Yes, sir.
I'm showing you now what's marked as State's Exhibit 2.22. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir, I do.
What is that?
It's a waiver of rights form.
And can you inform the jury what rights he was advised of prior to that interview taking place?
Yes, sir. I have the right to remain silent. Anything I say can be used against me in a court of law. I have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with me while being questioned. If I cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent me before any questioning if I wish. I can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statement.
Did he appear to understand those rights as he was being informed?
Yes, sir, he did.
Did he indicate on that form whether he agreed to waive those rights?
He did.
How did he indicate that?
He signed.
In your presence?
Yes, sir.
I can't remember, is this tendered already or not? 222. Is it a fair and accurate copy of the original Miranda warning rights as given by Agent Sands to the defendant?
Yes, sir, it is.
I'll tender State's Exhibit 2.22. Where did that interview take place?
At the Liberty County Jail in the CID building in an interview room.
Can you describe the area where the interview took place?
Yes, sir. It's a room with a table and a couple of chairs in it.
Was the defendant allowed to be seated?
Yes, sir, he was.
Were you and Agent Sands seated?
Yes, sir, we were.
Did he appear to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs?
He did not.
We do appreciate the likes. Thank you so much.
Did he appear to be injured in any way whatsoever?
He did not.
Did you or Agent Sands have weapons that were visible?
On that day, I cannot recall if we had our weapons out of the holsters and put up, or our holsters were just present or not.
They were never removed from holsters?
No, sir, not in the room.
Was there anything unusual about his appearance or his behavior?
No, sir.
Was he cooperative?
He was.
Can you describe his demeanor during that interview?
Very calm, unemotional, and responsive to question.
Did he seem to be aware of his surroundings?
He did.
Did he seem to understand what was happening?
Yes, sir.
When you spoke to him and Agent Sands spoke to him, were his answers responsive to the questions?
Yes, sir, they were.
At any time did he invoke his right to remain silent?
No, sir, I did not.
At any time did he invoke his right to speak only with an attorney being present?
No, sir, he did not.
Was he offered any hope of reward or benefit in exchange for making a statement?
No, sir, he was not.
Was he promised any lenient treatment in exchange for him making a statement?
No, sir, he was not.
Was he threatened or coerced in any way whatsoever?
No, sir, he was not.
And was this interview recorded?
Yes, sir, it was.
How was it recorded?
Both audio and video recorded.
Trying to boost the witness's voice only. Looks like a bulldog's tie. Looks like he's got the G's there. The Georgia G's. Stacy, we had DNA this morning. If you find that fascinating, I would definitely rewind. It was a great witness for that.
At this time, the state is tendering a number of certified with the business records. And they come with a certificate of authenticity. They've been shown to Mr. Weinstein. And I'm moving to admit at this time State's Exhibit number 2.26A and 2.26B, 2.26C, 2.23, 2.24, 2.25, 2.25A, and 2.25B.
Any objection?
Can I just say that
Yes, sir.
one moment again? Sure. Thank you.
Bailiffs are just chilling there and back. Mr. Weinstein, defense lawyer. Normally a civil lawyer. This, I believe, is his second criminal case. It's gone to trial. He sure picks doozies for clients. Both of his criminal trials have been aired on TV. This is not many lawyers can say that. Reminder, tonight during the podcast, we are giving away free memberships to the channel. First Thursday of every month, we'll be giving away
No objection.
about 10
All right, the
memberships.
exhibits are admitted without objection.
Before we get into the exhibits, can you describe for the jury what investigative steps were taken to try to develop a lead as to who the offender was?
We looked at the evidence that we had. I knew from just personal experience shopping and from a previous case dealing with Home Depot loss prevention, Milwaukee brand and Husky brands were ones that were sold at those stores. So I had the SKU number was still on the Husky box. So I took that SKU and a picture of the knife and sent it to loss prevention for Home Depot and requested any purchases in the area of the last couple of months of a combination of those two items with other items or just with that items individually.
And when you're talking about the knife, you're referring to the knife that's depicted in State's Exhibit 2.7?
That's correct.
I'm showing you now what's marked as State's Exhibit number 2.25. Can you identify what that is?
It's a business records affidavit.
Attached to what?
Attached to a response with a list of sales of items and customer information.
Was that based on an inquiry you made with Home Depot?
That is correct.
And what does that item, that business record, show?
It shows purchases of the Milwaukee knife.
Does it identify the purchaser?
Yes, sir, it does.
By what name?
Just by name.
And what name is on that document? Is there more than one name?
There is.
Is the defendant's name on that document?
Yes, sir, it is.
And it indicates what?
Nicholas Kassotis.
Go ahead.
Gives a date, 11/29 of 2022. Gives a time of 8:56 a.m. and gives a store number of 170, a registration number, transaction type, and the tender type.
Kim, thank you so much for the super sticker.
And the amount paid.
All right, I'm showing you at this time what's marked as State's Exhibit 2.23.
This witness worked loss prevention for Home Depot. Did you catch that? So he knew that.
Yes, sir. It's also the business records affidavit.
From what business?
From Home Depot.
And what does Exhibit 2.23 show?
It is a Home Depot receipt for August 16th of 2022.
For a purchase of what?
It has Clorox paper towel wipes, Gorilla Glue, reusable latex gloves, scented cinnamon broom, caulkbacker, folding razors, and a putty knife and a Coke Zero.
He bought the full murder kit, like at one time?
Let's go back to that last Home Depot business record, State's Exhibit number 225. I'm showing you now what's marked as State's number 2.26.
MMG, thank you very much. 11 months.
Yes, sir. The top one is the business records affidavit from Home Depot.
And what is attached?
Spreadsheet with the purchases of the knife from customers from period of October to December from stores on the I-95 corridor from Brunswick to Charleston.
And on that document is the defendant's name. Does it appear?
Yes, sir, it does. This document here, I'm sorry, is actually the list of items he purchased that Nicholas Kassotis purchased from Home Depot.
On what date?
It has a date range of August 6th through December 29th on this.
I'm showing you now what's marked as State's 2.26. Can you identify that?
That appears to be the same form.
Okay. Just in a different format.
Correct.
Showing you now what's marked as State's 2.26. Can you identify that?
Yes, sir. Also the business records affidavit for Home Depot. and it is a receipt for November 29, 2022 for a Milwaukee smooth blade insulation knife.
That's that same orange handle knife that has been referred to earlier.
Correct. It also has an image on it as well.
And the image was taken from where?
From Home Depot.
Surveillance video?
Correct. Would you like all these?
Yes. Do you recognize the person who's depicted in this surveillance video attached to that exhibit?
Yes, sir. It's Mr. Kassotis.
Do you see anything under his arm?
It appears to be a Milwaukee knife.
Spoiler alert, it is. It's a Milwaukee knife. Lynn Britton, 21 months. Oh, gee. Sorry, I'm getting tripped up over my words. Always good to catch trial with you, even if the super sad cases. It's good to be with my people. You're so appreciated. Thank you so much. Also, a big shout out to MMG Entertainment. 11 months. We need to do more.
Shorty and Alice Marcus states that in 2.23. Can you identify that?
Yes, sir. It's a business records affidavit, also from Home Depot.
And what does that record show?
It shows purchases, the ones I read earlier, 75 count Clorox towel wipes, Gorilla Super Glue, latex gloves, cinnamon broom, caulkbecker, folding utility knife, flexible putty knife, and a Coke Zero.
And on what date were those items purchased?
That was purchased August 16th of 2022.
At what store?
That would be the 1901 East Victory Drive in Savannah, Georgia.
Kale, thank you so much. 7
I'm
months.
showing you now with Smart States exhibit number 2.24. Can you identify that?
Yes, sir. The business records affidavit from Home Depot.
And what does it show?
It shows a purchase date of November 4th, 2022 at the 11180 Abercorn Street Extension, Savannah, Georgia store. And it shows an anvil D-handle digging shovel and another item, fiberglass hammer, 20-ounce fiberglass hammer.
And the date of that purchase?
Was November 4th, 2022.
Which store?
It's 11180 Abercorn Street, Savannah, Georgia. Also an image attached to it.
What was the glue for? The Gorilla Glue the lids on the...
What is the image?
Appears to be Mr. Kassotis walking out of the store with a shovel.
Laura Fry, 13
That's taken
months.
from the surveillance system of that
Thank you, Laura.
store.
That's correct.
That's him with the shovel. Check stand 7. Plain as can be. And a Coke Zero to wash it all down. Guilt-free, right? Because it's got 0 calories.
And of course, for the jury's benefit, they will have all of these items submitted as evidence out with them in the jury deliberation room. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm showing you now what's marked as states exhibit number 2.25A. Do you recognize that?
It's a state of Missouri, the County of Greene business records affidavit.
What does it depict?
Custodian records for Bass Pro. And there's a receipt attached to it, but the print's too small to make out.
And has that print been enlarged in states exhibit number 2.25B?
That is consistent with the format, yes, sir.
And what does that show?
It shows a purchase from the Savannah store on November 28, 2022. And it's a Pursuit 7-piece knife set.
And based on learning that that 7-piece knife set had been purchased from Bass Pro, what, if anything, did you do?
I requested a copy of this and any other information that had reference to this purchase. And I was also requested to go and buy one of the 7-piece knife kits.
Did you?
Yes, sir, I did.
I'm showing you now what's marked as State's Exhibit number 2.25C. Do you recognize that?
I do.
How do you recognize it?
That's my handwriting on the evidence bag.
And what's inside that evidence bag?
The 7-piece knife kit.
And when you placed it in that bag, was the bag sealed by you?
Yes, sir, it was.
Was the knife set in a new condition when you placed it in the bag?
Yes, sir, it was.
Had it ever been used by you?
No, sir, it had not.
At this time, would you unseal that bag in the presence of the jury?
I was a bit sad when Bass Pro bought Cabela's, but they've done well with the brand. I was a Cabela's man. Never seen someone just tear open an evidence bag before, like with their hands.
You just removed the box. Describe that box.
It's got orange writing, white writing. Got a picture of 4 different knives, a sharpener, a nylon carry bag, and a saw.
And are those knives inside that box?
It feels like it has some contents in it.
Okay. Does the box appear to be in the same or similar condition as when you packaged it?
Yes, sir, it does.
I'll tender at this time the State's Exhibit number 2.25C.
So this was not the murder weapon. This was what they think he used, because I don't think they found any of these. They just have, on record him buying it. So now they have
During the course of your investigation, did you
similar
research
model.
the recall history of the defendant's 2022 Ford Explorer?
I did.
Did you have access to that vehicle purchase information?
I did.
Did you have access to the VIN on that vehicle?
I did.
And were you able to search for recalls using that unique VIN?
Yes, sir, I did.
And what was the result of your research?
The only recall I could locate was one for a rear bolt failure that would cause a vehicle to roll out apart.
And how recently did you perform that search?
Just last night.
Did you find any evidence of recalls for engine fires for that vehicle?
No, sir, I did not.
Here goes the whole, it burned down because of
I think there's a matter
poor
we
design.
need to take up outside the presence of the jury briefly.
Okay. Are you asking if they
Asking,
excused, or can we handle this?
They need to be excused.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please step out just a minute.
Corey, first mate. How are you doing? You know how medical personnel make the worst patients? Well, defense attorneys can make the worst defendants, apparently. Well, the jury is leaving and the judge is clearing its schnoz. I think we need to have a contest. It's going to be a murder kit craft contest where you come up with whatever creative craft you can create using a traditional collection of killer equipment from the murder aisle. No death allowed. No death allowed. We're talking just crafts. Something nice, something you'd want to hang on the wall or maybe give to a friend. Let's find a good reason to buy these same items that all these killers seem to be purchasing at Walmart.
All right, everyone, please be seated.
Home Depot.
Yes, sir, Mr. McCollum.
So this will be simpler than I anticipated. Mr. Hershey yesterday was asked about a vehicle recall. He was asked, are you familiar that in August of 2024, Ford recalled 85,000 Ford Explorer SUVs for engine fires over the period of manufacture from 2020 to 2022. My intent was to tender this State's Exhibit number 2.52 that we obtained from the internet. I believe that's where the information came from. And it's my understanding that Mr. Weinstein will not object to me tendering this as an exhibit.
And just to clarify, I don't recall exactly where that information came from that I got yesterday, but I do not object to the state tendering this exhibit.
All right, then. Problem solved.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Where's our,
Where's our bailiff?
yeah, if you would, go ahead and ask him to come back in.
I tell you, you've got to be creative. You know, what are you going to do with the duct tape? What are you going to do with the trash bags? What are you going to do with the cinnamon broom? I don't think the cinnamon broom should be included. But I think we should allow 1 or 2 decoy items that are also included in the purchase to throw off the checkers, thinking, oh, this isn't a murder kit, because clearly he has a Coke Zero or something like that. So, you know, you'll have a little bit of latitude that way. Here's a wind chime I made from hunting knives and zip. That petrified. That's a great idea. I cannot guarantee that this won't somehow result in you ending up in an interrogation room answering some uncomfortable questions about your purchasing habits. But I think we should do a little contest, maybe on the Facebook page, post pictures of what we came up with. To use the 3 gallons of bleach. I was going to go with Febreze instead of the bleach option. I know you do have your choice of chemicals when purchasing a murder kit. I think Febreze might be easier to work in. Possibly make one of those hanging mobiles with Febreze cans that spray and rotate in a circle. I know there's things you can do.
All right, everyone, please be seated. Counsel, you may continue.
While the jury is in the courtroom, the state will tender to Exhibit 2.52.
6.52, I understand there's no objection.
No objection.
All right, it's admitted without objection.
I'm showing this to you, Detective Frost, Exhibit 2.52. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Where did that come from?
It's a screenshot from my computer.
Would you read the contents of that to the jury, please?
Ford Motor Company, August 16th, Reuters. Ford Motor Company is recalling about 85,000 Explorer SUVs equipped with the Police Interceptor utility package over concerns of an engine fire, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said Friday.
It was the cop
In the event of a motor failure, oil and fuel may be released into the engine compartment and accumulate near ignition sources, possibly resulting in fire, the regulator said. There's also a blurb for stay up to date, the latest news trends. That's just Reuters. The recall affects SUVs from model years 2020 to 2022, equipped with a 3.3-liter hybrid and gasoline engines.
So you have the purchase documents of the vehicle that was sold to the defendant in this case. Is
They're in
that
the
correct?
file. Yes, sir.
Did that vehicle purchased by this defendant have a Police Interceptor package?
Not according to the bill of sale, no, sir.
Did it have a 3.3-liter hybrid engine?
No, sir, it did not.
What's the bailiff
That's all the
eating there
questions
back?
I have.
I heard the crunch from all the way up here. Did you hear that? I think he's got like Ritz crackers or something. So now we have to explain the fire with another lie.
Good morning, Investigator Frost.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Doug Weinstein. I represent Mr. Kassotis.
Yes, sir.
As I'm sure you well know.
Bailiff's going to go for another.
So I understand that you are employed by the folks at this table, right? You're employed by the DA's office right now?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. But you formerly were with the Liberty County Sheriff's Office.
That is correct, sir.
At the time you were doing this investigation, were you with the Liberty County Sheriff's Office then?
I was.
And
Yes,
then
sir.
you, I'm sorry, I'll let you finish the question.
Yes, sir, I was.
I'll let you
Finish
finish.
the answer. And then you subsequently became employed with the DA's office, which is where you're working right now, correct?
That is correct, sir.
All right.
He's the bailiff in back. Is
Let me
chowing
ask
down on the
you
snacks.
about that Milwaukee knife that you found at the scene.
Here goes another.
Now, you mentioned Mr. Kassotis purchasing a Milwaukee knife at Home Depot, correct?
That's correct.
And it was the same model knife, right?
Correct.
But you have no way of knowing if that is the same knife, correct?
That is correct.
As far as you know, it could be a completely different knife.
That is correct.
And because of a previous investigation, I guess you'd been a part of, you went to Home Depot looking for that Milwaukee knife, correct?
That is correct.
Did you go to City Electric Supply looking for that knife?
No, sir, I did not.
Did you go to Savannah Rubber Conveyor looking for that knife?
No, sir, I did not.
Did you go to Ferguson Enterprises to look for that knife?
No, sir, I did not.
Did you go to Whitecap to look for that knife?
No, sir, I did
No,
not.
I did not, and neither did the defendant.
What about LGG Industrial?
No, sir, I did not.
Savannah Wire and Electric?
No, sir, I did not.
Berwick Ace Hardware?
No, sir, I did not.
Good choices, but no.
None of those places.
No, sir, I did not.
Well, what about Train Technologies?
No, sir, I did not.
These are all places that
United
sell that knife.
Refrigeration?
No, sir, I did not.
Did you go to Triple J Mechanical?
No, sir, I did not.
Did you go to Sandpiper Supply?
No, sir, I did not.
Did you go to Johnstone Supply?
No, sir, I did not.
Contractors Depot?
No, sir, I did not.
Motion Industrial?
No, sir, I did not.
Gray Bar Electric?
No, sir, I did not.
Lowe's?
The Kreger Company?
No, sir, I did not.
Amazon?
Savannah Tool House?
No, sir, I did not.
Can't read my own writing, I'm sorry. Did you go to Granger?
No, sir, I did not.
We're getting all the brands.
Southern Pipe and Supply?
You guys
No, sir, I
keeping
did
track
not.
of these brands?
Baker Distributing?
No, sir, I did not.
U.S. Tool Group and Garden?
No, sir,
Jordan?
no, sir, I did not.
Southside Ace?
This was
No,
the
sir, I did
brand
not.
trial. Oh, man.
Triple J Mechanical?
No, sir, I did not.
Granger's good. Got the best catalog.
Did you do a search online, or did you do any kind of search to see who else other than Home Depot was a distributor for Milwaukee Tools?
I did.
And what did you find when you
The
looked
knife
online?
was commonly sold at other places as well.
But you searched in none of those other places, is that correct?
That's correct.
It's because I'm a good investigator.
Why didn't you search in those other places?
The only reason why I searched at Home Depot first and only was because of the combination of that being found next to the Husky tote, and I knew Husky was also a brand that Home Depot carried.
Okay, but you had no interest in checking out any of those other places where that Milwaukee tool could have been sold?
I did.
You mentioned that you were present in Lancaster, Pennsylvania on May the 13th, 2023, during that initial interview with Mr. Kassotis.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And you said that Mr. Kassotis was calm, correct?
That's correct.
He was even-keeled, correct?
Correct.
And I believe you said he openly discussed the case with you.
That's correct.
And he was responsive to all your questions.
Yes, sir, he was.
He didn't invoke his rights under the Constitution, correct?
Correct.
But he's a lawyer. He was aware of those rights. He was aware he did not have to speak to you, correct?
That's correct.
And yet he still talked to you about this case.
Yes, sir, he did.
On May the 26th, here in Georgia, when he got down here, again, you were present when he was being interviewed or interrogated then, correct?
That's correct.
And then again, he was calm, right?
That's correct.
And he was cooperative, correct?
That's correct.
And he was responsive.
Correct.
He still had his law degree then, right? So he was still a lawyer.
To my knowledge, that's correct.
You made him aware of his constitutional rights as you testified, right?
That was Agent Sands, but yes, sir, I was present for it.
And I certainly hope as a lawyer that he was aware of those rights. And again, you knew he was a lawyer, correct?
To my knowledge, yes, sir, he was.
Okay. Yet he still discuss the case with you.
That's correct.
Okay.
Cass, welcome to the gallery. Thank you so much.
Do you own a car?
I do.
Have you ever had have any of your cars or trucks ever been subject to recall?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So,
but none of them burned down suspiciously.
and you may or may not be familiar with this, but you know, recalls, they sometimes spread. They'll start out with a small recall, and then over time, more and more vehicles will get recalled, correct?
I'm unaware how they work, sir.
They're not contagious.
You know, for example, do you
Caught a
recall
recall
the
from my
Takeda
neighbor's
airbag
car.
recall from years ago?
I've heard of it, yes, sir.
You know, that was a Marietta lawyer that got that started, but that aside, that began in 2006. I don't know if you remember the exact year, but you recall it was some time ago, right?
Yes, sir.
And are you aware that, for example, on the Takeda airbag recall, that over time, more and more and more vehicles were recalled? Do you remember reading about that?
I believe I heard it was quite a number of vehicles that were recalled.
Okay. So it's not unusual that recalls can spread over time from the initial recall, correct?
Correct.
Begging the court's indulgence.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Check with the client, see if he wants to ask any more questions. Mr. Weinstein was pretty thorough. Mr. Kassotis is participating in his own defense in this way. He's not representing himself, although he is an attorney, lawyer.
Oh, excuse me, one last question, then I'll let you go. Or at least I will. The purchase of the shovel, when was that again?
Without looking at the receipt, best of my recollection, it was November 4th, 2022.
So November 4th, 2022. And how far in advance of that, how far in advance of finding Mindy Kassotis was November 4th, 2022?
We discovered her on December 2nd, 2022.
Okay. So roughly, can I say approximately a month?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a shovel?
Yes, sir, I do.
Did you purchase it?
I did.
Okay. I've got no more questions.
Bury any heads with it?
All right, thank you, sir. You can step down.
Unless there's more direct. Oh, no. Oh, they said no questions. Okay. Good witness. I enjoyed that.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Hanson.
Ms. Hanson.
Ms. Hanson. All right.
I'm going to keep the audio on just for a second. Let me see if I can fix some video here. Have 4 shovels, only 1 legally purchased. I prefer to borrow my tools. But I intend to return them at some point.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning. Please raise your right hand and face the clerk over here.
Do you swear and affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Please have a seat.
Quiet voice. We'll see if we need to boost it a little.
You're going to need to speak up so the jury can hear you. That's a microphone that's just in front of you. If you can place your mouth close to the microphone. Would you state your name and spell it?
Vaishnavi Khare.
How do you spell your first name?
Vaishnavi, Khare.
How do you spell that?
Khare.
She did spell it.
Did you have a different last name a while ago?
I just got divorced a few months ago, so it was Hansen.
Spell Hansen.
Hansen.
Congratulations, I guess.
And do you live in this area?
Yes, sir.
Where do you live?
I'm currently staying in Tybee Island, Georgia.
Do you operate an Airbnb business, or did you?
Yes.
When did you operate that business?
I started in July 2021.
Do you own property in Chatham County
Yes.
related to that business?
Yes.
Where do you own that property?
I have one in Savannah and one in Tybee Island.
What about the one in Savannah? Where is it located?
The address is 311 East 65th Street.
Sorry. It's a crime scene.
I'm showing you a photograph. Mark States Exhibit number 2.27. Do you recognize that picture?
Yes, that's my address.
And does it fairly and accurately depict the house at that location?
Yes.
I'll tender at this time. States Exhibit number 2.27.
No. It's admitted.
Insofar as your business is concerned, do you rent this house to people?
Yes.
When you rent it, is the house furnished?
Yes.
Do you recall that property being rented on or about June 30th, 2022?
Yes.
And who was the renter?
Nicholas Kassotis.
Okay. And at the time he rented that property, was the house furnished?
Yes.
Can you describe for the jury what the house looks like? How many bedrooms?
It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house, and it has a yard with a tree, and you can come in from the front and at the back.
What's in the backyard?
It's just a backyard, and then there's a small shed and a gate that leads to a small lane.
What is in the shed?
I mean, there used to be tools, but there's nothing right now.
During the period of time that Mr. Kassotis was renting there, what was in the shed?
There were just tools.
What kind of tools?
I don't really know all the tools, like hammer and like a screwdriver and like a saw maybe.
During the period of time that he was renting your house, were others staying there also?
No.
How do you know that?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know that.
Do you know or not know whether other people were staying there?
So the place was booked for 4 adults. So I just, Nicholas's photo was on it, and I don't know the other 3 adults that were staying there, that were booked.
Did he ever make reference to a wife?
Yes.
And whether or not she was pregnant?
Yes.
And what did he indicate to you was the condition of his wife?
He didn't indicate any condition. He just said that that they're expecting, I think, something on that.
Expecting a child?
Yeah, something on that basis. I don't know if it was expecting a child or something else, but in those lines.
How many times did you meet with Mr. Kassotis in person?
I met him one time. This was during a Hindu festival called Diwali, because I usually put a light. It's supposed to be for good luck. So I had contacted him to basically put a light in the house if he would oblige, or like, and he agreed upon it. So me and my ex-husband at that time went to the house and handed him a candle, and outside the house. We didn't go inside because he met us outside, and I gave it to him.
Would you recognize Mr. Kassotis if you saw him again?
Yes.
Do you see him in the courtroom?
Yes.
Would you point to him?
He's sitting over there.
If you'd let the record reflect, she's indicated the defendant seated at the defense table.
And it does.
Do you recall how long he rented that property?
About 3 months.
Do you recall from memory his move-out date?
I think sometime in November or December.
Did he move sooner than his anticipated move-out date?
Yes.
Did he notify you of that?
Yes.
And when tenants move out, in particular, when Mr. Kassotis moved out, Did you go to the house and inspect it?
Yes,
What condition did you find the house in?
it was left very clean.
Pardon me?
It was very clean.
Cleaner more than normal when tenants move out of a property?
Yeah, it was very clean.
Did you look in the backyard?
Yeah,
Was there any evidence of digging in the backyard?
no,
Any evidence of digging in the front yard?
no.
Did you discover anything missing when you inspected the house?
Yes,
What was that?
it was a rug. I had a rug and it was replaced by another rug.
Dum, bum, bum. Rug was missing. Lucy, that's crazy.
Describe where that rug was. The rug that you noticed was missing.
So the house, it's
Talk into the microphone.
sorry. The house has like a living area with the TV next to the kitchen, and the rug was there that leads up to the backyard.
Now, when you're advertising this property for rent, do you put profile pictures on the internet ads?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm showing you now what's marked as State's Exhibit number 2.43. Do you recognize this picture?
Yes, that's the rug that was missing.
Okay. And does this picture fairly and accurately depict the living area of your house as well as the rug that's in front of the TV?
Yes.
Well, I'll tender at this time State's Exhibit number 2.43.
Any objection?
No objection.
It is admitted.
Greeners has to do one-liners
Describe this
because
rug for the jury.
usually gets timed out before he can make a second comment.
It's a soft, colorful, regular rug.
Soft, colorful rug.
I think 5 by 7 size.
And the rug is right in front of the TV. Is that enough? I'm asking you, was it in front of the TV?
Oh yeah.
Now, initially, when you went to the property after Mr. Kassotis moved out, did you immediately recognize this rug was missing?
Yes.
And what was in its place?
It was another rug that was like a cheaper rug and a smaller rug instead.
I'm showing you now what's marked as State's Exhibit number 2.44. Do you recognize this picture?
Yes.
And what is this a picture of?
The replacement rug, I think.
What's that picture? This rug here.
I think it's a replacement rug. Yeah.
So this is not the rug that you had when you rented the place?
No. No.
Does this fairly and accurately depict the rug that was left after he moved out?
Correct, yes.
I'll tender at this time State's Exhibit number 2.44.
No objection. It's admitted.
So would you describe the pattern on these two rugs as similar?
Yeah, but you can see this, they're not the same.
This attorney is adverse to Elmo's, so we don't get to see.
That's all the questions I have.
Mr. Weinstein?
The house is no longer on Airbnb, best as I can tell. I don't believe any rug was found.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Doug Weinstein. I represent Mr. Kassotis in this case. And I'm sorry that I did not catch this. Is your last name no longer Hansen?
Correct.
What's your last name presently?
Kare, Khare.
Khare.
Kari?
Yes.
Am I saying that right? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Kari, do you recall being interviewed by agents?
Yes.
In I think May of 2023?
Yes.
And during that interview, you told the agents that Mr. Kassotis never bothered you, correct?
Yeah.
You told the agents that Mr. Kassotis was a good tenant.
Correct.
You told the agent that you had no issues with payments from Mr. Kassotis.
Correct.
That Mr. Kassotis always paid on time.
Correct.
You told agents that he was a very good tenant.
Mm-hmm.
And you told agents that he was very professional, correct?
Correct.
In addition, you told the agents that when you got the home back from Mr. Kassotis, and I guess you inspected it. Do you normally inspect when you get a home back?
Yes.
So did you do an inspection this time
Yes.
with regard to Mr. Kassotis leaving the Airbnb?
Yes.
You said that there was no overpowering smell of bleach. You recall saying that?
Yes.
And also that there was no smell of cleaners, correct?
Yes.
You also told the agents there were no stains on fabrics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or on furniture.
Mm-hmm.
You also mentioned something else that didn't come up in the direct exam today. Did you notice that the lock on the front door was completely broken?
I don't remember.
Do you recall telling them that the lock on the front door was completely broken?
I don't remember that now.
Okay. Regarding the rug being replaced, can I ask you about that? When you have tenants, and how long have you had Airbnbs?
So I had this one, and then before that I took a break because I had a baby. So I had before that in Hawaii. So I don't know, like 10 years, relatively.
Sometimes do items in the Airbnbs go missing?
Correct.
Sometimes are they damaged?
Yes.
Occasionally will a tenant damage something and replace it with something else?
Never. Not usually.
We've had that happen.
But occasionally there are things that are damaged within the Airbnbs, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
We had a pillow get torn apart by a cat, I believe.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. You are free to go.
It's fine because we typically don't allow pets unless they're a service animal. A visiting cat. The guest had family come that visited with a pet. Fun fact, we no longer rent on Airbnb. We pulled our listing off that platform.
All right. Our next witness, please.
Sorry, Judge.
No problem.
The state calls Tara Ransom.
Ransom? What a great last name. You could like, if you had something to give to Tara, you could say, hey, can you hold this for ransom? Bet she's heard that one before, though. Airbnb's document requirements on the owner part is just crazy. we complied with everything, and then they rented for a while and then changed it all up. Wanted a whole bunch more stuff. Just amazing.
The testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
I do.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Thought for a second that the prosecutor was wearing a judge's robe.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
I just wanted to check. Can you please tell the court reporter your full name and how you spell it?
My name is Tara Ransom. That's spelled T-A-R-A-R-A-N-S-O-M.
Ms. Ransom, there have been some other representatives from the crime laboratory who have already testified, so I'm going to try to not do the same questions more than once. So I'll try to keep them confined to your qualifications, okay? Can you tell us where you work?
I'm employed by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation at the Coastal Regional Crime Laboratory in Pooler, Georgia.
And how long have you worked there?
I've been employed with the GBI since February 1st of 2010, so approximately 15 and a half years now.
And what is your occupation at the GBI Crime Lab?
I am a forensic biologist. My job involves examining evidence for the presence of biological fluids, developing any DNA profiles that are present, and interpreting the results.
And have you always held that same position while at the crime lab?
I have.
Have you always worked at the one in this region, at the Coastal Crime Laboratory in Pooler?
Yes.
So that entire experience was at the same facility?
Yes.
And can you tell the jury your educational background concerning that position?
I graduated from Eastern Washington University with a Bachelor's of Science in Chemistry and Biochemistry with an emphasis in Forensic Science. I graduated from the University of Florida with a Master's of Science in Pharmacology with an emphasis in Forensic DNA and Serology. I completed an in-house training program with the GBI. The in-house training program involved processing mock samples, doing literature review, and taking both written and oral examinations. I am also certified by the American Board of Criminalistics. This is an independent agency that certifies forensic scientists.
And did you get that training prior to starting as a forensic biologist and DNA analyst at the crime laboratory?
I was hired as a forensic biologist and received on-the-job training before entering into casework.
Okay. And do you continue to do trainings while you maintain your position?
Yes, we do yearly continuing education.
And is that in addition to peer review and counseled sessions with supervisors?
Yes.
So that would be, you do both of those things?
Correct.
Thank you. And have you received any withdrawn? Can you describe your primary roles as a forensic biologist and analyst in what you specifically do at the crime lab?
As I said, as a forensic biologist, my job involves examining evidence for the presence of biological fluids. If biological fluids are present, then I send the case forward for DNA testing.
And do you sometimes do that DNA testing yourself?
Yes.
And what types of fluids do you generally work with?
At the GBI Crime Lab, we test for blood, semen, and saliva.
Are you trained in preserving and handling biological samples?
Yes.
How did you receive that training?
The training was part of that in-house training that we did and that we had to pass before entering into independent casework.
And are there protocols or guidelines in place that are regularly updated to ensure that you stay current with being able to properly handle those specimens?
Yes, we take a competency test before entering into casework to ensure that we are doing all procedures correctly. We also do proficiency tests twice a year in order to ensure that we are continuing to maintain our competency in the field.
What about the instruments at the lab that you use? Are there any specialized tests to ensure that they're properly calibrated and working accurately?
Yes, all instruments undergo regular maintenance and testing to ensure that they are working correctly before they're put into use.
And the crime laboratory in Pooler, the Coastal Crime Lab, was that accredited when you were working there on this case?
Yes.
Is it still accredited today?
Yes.
Do you engage in quality assurance and quality control procedures in the laboratory concerning your cases still to this day?
Yes.
And were those procedures in place when you were engaged in this case?
Yes.
We've talked some about how to ensure that a biological sample was ripe or appropriate for testing.
Right.
If you were to receive a sample that was not in a condition that was appropriate for testing, what would you do?
Could you clarify your question, please?
Sure. If you found that a sample was insufficient, meaning there wasn't enough of a sample to analyze, how would you document that?
So all samples are tested in order to determine whether or not there is a sufficient amount of either bodily fluid or DNA present. So within our reporting results, you would see a result saying that either it indicated a biological fluid, it failed to reveal a biological fluid, or it was inconclusive for the presence of a biological fluid.
Is that something you can tell with the naked eye?
No.
Is that something you actually test then to determine?
Yes.
Okay, so if a sample were to arrive at the laboratory in a condition that the chain of custody appeared to be intact, would you then conduct that test?
Yes.
If the chain of custody did not appear to be intact, what would you do?
I cannot testify to an item's chain of custody prior to it coming into the lab. When an item enters the lab, we examine it in order to determine, is the packaging sealed? Does it appear that it has been tampered with in any way? As long as the item is sealed and does not appear to be tampered with, then we proceed with testing, regardless of what the chain of custody was prior to that moment in time.
What I'm asking is, if something came to you and it looked like it wasn't properly sealed or it didn't have the correct markings, what would you do in that case?
We would attempt to rectify the situation, whether it was that it needed a seal. We'd reach out to the agency and have them come back in and relabel an item or repackage it and reseal it to meet our standards.
And
add her to the
in
good
this
witness
case,
list. Very
there
precise.
weren't any problems with the receipt of the materials, correct?
Correct.
As a result, were you asked to perform some analysis in conjunction with samples received for this case?
Yes.
Before I get there, have you ever testified before as an expert?
Yes.
And approximately how many times have you testified?
I've testified over 100 times.
And in what fields?
I've testified in forensic biology, so body fluid identification and DNA testing.
Okay. And how many times you said? About 100?
A little over 100 times.
Okay. Is that here in the state of Georgia?
Within the state of Georgia and one time in North Carolina.
Okay.
Yay, shout out to my
have
state.
you ever been denied status as an expert in the field of forensic biology or DNA analysis?
No.
At this time, Your Honor, I would seek to tender Ms. Ransom as an expert in the field of forensic biology and DNA analysis.
Any objection?
No objection.
Georgia is doing their best to win me over.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, with connection with this case, you indicated that you had reviewed certain materials. Is that right?
Correct.
And can you tell the jury, did you prepare reports in conjunction with those analyses that you performed?
I did.
This has been a great trial. Not good for the defendant because they're extremely thorough on all this. The witnesses have been fantastic on the stand. The in-court procedures have been followed to the letter. It's been really good.
I'm showing, Your Honor, one moment.
Georgia is slowly rubbing off on me. I may visit. By visit, I mean fill up my car with gas as I drive
Counsel
through.
exhibits marked 1.72, 73, and 74. which he has previously received, but just so he knows what I'm referring to.
What were those numbers again, please?
1.72, 73, and 74. Would it be fair to say that you handled various steps in the process of your analysis?
Yes.
Okay. And during the course of analysis of a DNA sample, I'm going to show you the physical reports that I have and the materials. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, while I was up at Bear Lake, my sister got peaches from Brigham City, Utah. They were like
I'll start
the size
first
of
with your
softballs.
reports.
Massive.
I'm showing
so
you
much flavor.
1.7, 2, 3, and 4.
There's a place called the Fruit Highway in Brigham City, Utah. That is historically it's just where farmers grow fruit and sell it on the side of the road. You cannot get better peaches. I'm sorry, Georgia. I'm sorry. You cannot get better peaches than right there.
Do you recognize those reports?
Yes, these are the 2 blood examination reports and 1 DNA typing report that I issued for this case.
What's the difference between DNA typing and the secondary report you just referred to?
The blood examination reports were issued prior to the DNA typing report. During that testing, I examined evidence items for the presence of blood, and if they indicated the presence of blood, then I sent them forward for DNA testing. So then a DNA typing report was issued.
If you had not found blood, what would have been your course of action?
If blood was not found, then a blood examination report would have been issued stating that the evidence items failed to reveal the presence of blood, and no DNA testing would have been performed.
Would that have concluded your testing at that stage then?
Yes.
So when I was talking about steps, did the testing reveal the presence of blood and ultimately require you to pass that along for a secondary set of tests?
Yes, the blood examination reports did indicate the need for a DNA testing report.
Okay. And I'm going to go through these samples with you, so my apologies while I affix stickers to these.
Leonard Papa, thank you very much. 20
also
months.
Tell us if those reports that are in your hand, can you tell if those are the reports that you yourself generated?
On the jury.
Yes, they are.
How can you tell?
The reports have the DOFS case number, Department of Forensic Science case number, that was issued for this case, as well as my signature block, and the date that I had issued these reports.
Are those a duplicate of the original reports that were generated by you?
Yes, they are.
And are there any changes to them, or are those the actual reports you created?
These are the actual reports.
Your Honor, I would seek to tender those exhibits being 1.72, 1.73, and 1.74.
No objection. They are.
Thank you, Your Honor. And now, with respect to the samples themselves, can you explain to the jury what a cutting is?
Cutting is generally cutting from a larger piece of fabric, such as clothing, a sheet, any sort of fabric that was submitted into the lab for testing.
And other than for a buccal swab, can you tell the jury what a swabbing refers to when it's not referencing a cheek sample?
So a swabbing is simply a cotton swab that was used to sample any sort of presumed biological fluid from a scene.
Then how would you get that off of a dried substance, for example?
Generally, the way the swabs are collected is that the swab is wet down with sterile water and then applied to the dried stain.
And do you then literally swab to collect some of that sample?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm now going to show you what has been marked as states 1.75, 76, 77, 78. I'm also handing her 1.80, 81, 82, and 83, and showing them to counsel first, Your Honor. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to start with the bags 1.75 through 1.79. Do you recognize those items?
I do.
When you create a report, do you document the report in a fashion to be able to subsequently recall which sample you received?
Yes, when evidence is submitted into a crime lab, it's given an item number. So the report will list all the items that were tested, as well as the reporting statements will reference the item number and the evidence that was tested.
Is it fair to say that sometimes there's many samples on a single case?
Correct.
And in this case, would it be fair to say there were more than one sample?
Yes, there were several samples.
Okay. And when you document those in the report, do you reference how they were received as well as how you document them yourself inside of the laboratory?
Yes.
Do they get individual item numbers for each submission?
Yes.
And is that documented on the report that you generate?
Yes.
Does that allow you to subsequently be able to be here in court and testify about what those particular items were?
Yes.
A little bit leading.
And is that documented on the reports that you have in front of you?
Yes.
Okay. I'm now going to ask you,
It's
are there
foundational.
initials on those exhibits you're looking at right now that you recognize?
Yes.
And what are those?
So the ways that I recognize this evidence is as referenced. There is my initials and date of the evidence when I closed it back up after I was finished testing. As well as when evidence enters the laboratory, we place a barcode on it. We maintain an electronic chain of custody. This barcode lists the Department of Forensic Science case number and the item number.
And are all of those in the same or similar condition to when you finished up your analysis in conjunction with this case?
Yes.
Do you recognize each of those 5 bags as in that condition?
Yes.
At this time, I seek to tender States Exhibits 1.72, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
I think the first 3 have already been admitted, but
My apologies, Your Honor.
75 and 6.
Thank
No
you.
objection to 75 and 6.
All right, they're admitted.
And may I? Thank you. Inside of each of these, if I may publish,
Yes, ma'am.
would it be fair to say that there are physical swabs inside of each of these that contain biological evidence?
Which item numbers were those again?
Here, I'll give them back to you. My
Thank you.
apologies.
Yes.
I did not mean to confuse you.
Each of these does contain swabs.
And when I say biological evidence, would it be fair to say that blood is biological evidence?
Yes, it is.
As a general rule in court, would you prefer I not reopen biological samples?
It would probably be preferred.
Okay. And the reason I ask you that is this is not a sterile environment, right?
Correct. If evidence was opened in a non-sterile environment, then it could not be tested again in the future.
Okay. So those swabs, though, have they already been tested?
Yes, I tested them during both the blood examination and sent them forward to DNA testing.
Okay. So with respect to those 5 samples, do you know where those samples are from?
The items were listed, States Exhibit 1.76, 1.75, 1.77, and 1.78 were listed as coming from a living room floor, and States Exhibit 1.79 was from a living room wall.
And were you able to do a blood test on each of those swabs and the cuttings to determine if blood was present on each of those 5 swabs?
Yes.
And was there?
Yes, chemical examination of the floor swabbings and the den wall swabbing indicated the presence of blood.
So all of them had blood?
Correct.
Thank you. Now I'm showing you 1.81, 1.82, 1.83, and my apologies, 1.80 first. Do you recognize these 4 exhibits?
Yes.
What do you recognize those to be?
These exhibits are cuttings or swabbings that I took from the larger evidence items during my blood examination testing.
And did those cover different samples than what you just described as the floor and the wall blood swabs?
Yes.
What areas or what materials were you testing in those samples?
State's Exhibit 1.81 was cutting from clothing, namely panties and 2 tops. State's Exhibit 1.82 was cutting from a futon mattress padding. State's Exhibit 1.83 was cutting from a futon mattress cover. And State's Exhibit 1.80 was swabs of a blood stain from a container, contact DNA swabs from container handles, swab of a blood stain from a container, contact DNA swabs from the container handles, a general swab of a blood stain from a knife blade, contact DNA swabs from the knife handle and sheath.
And so you described earlier that when you receive a sample, would it be fair to say one of your first tests is to determine if there's actually DNA available to test? Or do you start with blood? What do you start with?
It depends on the case circumstances. If there's both a request for contact DNA, which could be from someone handling an object, as well as biological fluids, we perform both testing. I would look at an item, test it for the presence of blood, and regardless of whether or not I found blood, I would go ahead and test certain areas of the item for contact DNA.
So it's possible to have no blood present, but DNA present?
Correct.
Is it also possible that the blood itself is the DNA?
Yes.
Okay. So in this case, did you ultimately test the substances that you just described for the jury in those additional exhibits?
I did.
Do you recognize those exhibits in their condition to have any of those indicative markings you've already described for us?
Yes, they all have the case barcode as well as my evidence seals on them.
At this time, I would seek to tender those exhibits as in evidence at this time.
Which specific exhibits are those exhibits?
This is Exhibit 1.80, 1.81, 1.82, and 1.83.
Any objection? No objection to those. I will note that 1.77, 1.78, 1.79 have not been tendered as exhibits.
They have not.
My apologies. Are all of them in the same or substantially the same condition with those markings that you've described?
Yes.
I would seek to tender them all, Your Honor.
Great,
All
Matt.
includes 1.77,
Awesome.
1.78, and 1.79.
Fellow Wildcat.
Yes.
No objection.
All right, they're admitted.
So if you could, can you tell the jury, when you receive an item of clothing that may be stained with blood, what do you do with it?
So during a blood examination, I first look at the evidence item to determine if there is an observed reddish-brown stain present that would be indicative of blood. I then take a small sampling of that stain, be it a swab with sterile water, as I previously described, or a small cutting of the stain, and I apply chemicals to it. We perform 2 different tests for blood at the GBI Crime Lab. These tests are color change tests. The chemicals start out colorless, and in the presence of blood, they will change to an expected color. One chemical changes from colorless to pink, and one changes from colorless to green. So if both of these chemicals change their expected colors of pink and green, then that would indicate the presence of blood. If only one of the chemicals changed to its expected color, that would be an inconclusive result. And if both chemicals stayed colorless, then it would fail to reveal the presence of blood.
And once you have the analysis, I believe you testified that it is blood, that's when you may submit it on for further analysis?
Correct.
Okay. If I may have those laboratory reports, please. Thank you. I'm going to go in the sequence of your testing. If I can. Thank you. Without the guide, I need to know where it is on the screen. Can you see that on your screen?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell the members of the jury, on the far left margin here, do you see those numbers, 62, 62A, B, C, all of that?
Yes.
Would that be your documentation of those item numbers that you previously described to the jury?
Yes.
And is that your way of documenting this for your testimony as well?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell the jury which items specifically you tested for blood and which ones of those had a positive result for blood?
So in this case report, I tested DOFS item 34, a knife, and item 36, which was clothing from a plastic bag, which included 36A, panties, 36B, a piece of a top, 36C, a piece of a shirt, 36D, a piece of a top. I also tested DOFS item 37, a gray storage container without a lid. DOFS item 38, a black storage container without a lid. And DOFS item 39, a gray lid.
Okay. And which of those items that you just described had the presence of blood on them?
Chemical examination of the panties, item 36A, the top, item 36B, the t-shirt, item 36C, the top, item 36D, the gray storage container, item 37, and the black storage container, item 38, indicated the presence of blood. And chemical examination of the general swabbings conducted on the knife blade, item 34, indicated the presence of blood. Chemical examination of the stains on the gray lid, item 39, failed to reveal the presence of blood.
So the only item that didn't show the presence of blood was that gray lid?
Correct.
Okay. And the totes themselves, you indicated you tested the gray tote and the black tote both, correct?
Correct.
And both of those appeared, or through your testing, demonstrated the presence of blood?
Correct.
Okay. Can you tell the jury on a tote, and you could pass me 2 of the gloves over there.
Medium or large?
It doesn't matter. They're both big on me. Your Honor, I am referring to states 1.6 and 1.5. May she step down, Your Honor?
Sure.
Thank you, Virginia. Appreciate it. Virginia and Kim, a little
I'm
friendly
going to turn it
competition.
just so that the jury can see as well. Counsel, if you need to reposition, by all means. Are there notes on here as to the exhibits?
Because it says this
Yes.
side up, do not
when
tip.
evidence is submitted to the lab, we need the evidence item to be identified with the agency case number, and contents of the item.
And would you be able to determine if this was the same exhibit that you tested, being a black or a gray tote, by looking at all of the markings on this exhibit?
Yes.
And are they, in fact, and I'm pointing to 1.5 and now additionally to 1.6?
Yes, these are the items that I tested.
Okay. And in the form of testing, you referenced a swab. Is that correct?
Correct.
And did you swab these specific totes?
Yes.
Schwab.
I'm going to pull out 1.5.
Schwab in the tote. Bang it on
Would it be
everything
fair
in
to
the
say that
courtroom.
this is the black tote?
Yes.
And the other box then, is that the gray tote?
Yes.
Okay. And when you swabbed it, can you tell the jury exactly what you would physically do to go about doing that?
So in this case, I took out the item, I examined the item for the presence of any of that observed reddish-brown staining, which I did see. I then took a swabbing of that staining, tested it for blood using those 2 chemicals. It indicated the presence of blood. It had also been requested that there be contact DNA testing performed, as well as latent print examinations. So I swabbed the handles of the tote, trying to get the general palm area where somebody's might be pressed up against it while avoiding any areas that latent prints might find useful.
Okay. Is there a possibility of problems if you go out of sequence in terms of who tests what first?
Yes.
So is there a preferred procedure, meaning DNA first or fingerprint first?
Serological examination, so any of your biological fluids are tested prior to sending it to latent prints.
And why would that be?
Some of the chemicals and testing that latent prints uses in their examinations can interfere with our testing.
And is that the procedure that was followed here?
Yes.
Do you see that latent print? I mean, I know you don't do latent print analysis, but do you see that latent print dust on the exterior of this exhibit?
Yes, that's what that would appear to be.
That was not present when you did your testing, correct?
Correct.
So that would have come subsequent to your analysis?
Correct.
Okay. I thank you. Now, you can have a seat. I'm going to try and put this back. Just so we're clear, there had been some prior testimony that there's some different tape that's used by the crime laboratory than, for example, this red evidence tape. Which tape is your tape?
My tape is this red evidence tape you can see right here on the side with my initials right there.
Okay, so that would have been you reclosing this box after you completed?
Correct.
And do other divisions of the crime laboratory use different types of tape?
Yes, as that tape says impressions evidence on it, I would presume it was from the latents.
Okay. So different parts of the laboratory use different material tapes so that they can document that. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
The box really does have a sticker that says this side up.
Question. If there was blood in your swabbing from inside of the tote, that was from the inside that you swabbed or the exterior?
The inside.
Did you swab the exterior?
The exterior, the handles were swabbed for contact DNA.
But any of the other portions on the exterior of the tote were not swabbed?
Correct.
Why not?
I didn't observe blood on the outside of the tote.
If you had seen a reddish-brown stain on the exterior, would you have also swabbed that?
Yes.
Okay. So in this case, would it be fair to say you swabbed the areas that you made an observation of what could potentially be a biological fluid?
Correct.
Okay. And you indicated both the gray and the black tote had swabbings that revealed blood?
Correct.
Okay. Now, in addition to the totes, you referenced some clothing items. Can you tell us, with respect to those clothing items, I'm going to show you, I believe it's, if I may, Your Honor, I will have to go behind the witness. I'm handing the witness 1.15.
I don't have a Home Depot in my town. Just a Lowe's.
Do you recognize that exhibit?
Yes, State's Exhibit 1.15 is the clothing items that I tested in this case.
And would it be fair to say that those are the items that are on your report as 36A, B, C, and D?
Correct.
Okay. And did you process those similarly to how you just described?
Yes.
And those are the same items themselves here in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, if there was a lid of a container that did not come into contact physically with, for example, in this case, the issue is the portion of somebody's human remains, how would DNA deposit on a substance? Can you explain that for the jury?
DNA can deposit on a substance either through contact DNA, skin cells, or through the biological fluid. So a biological fluid would have to come in contact with the item.
So if there was no physical contact, then DNA would not transfer?
A biological fluid would not transfer, yes.
Okay, so biological fluid, not transfer. Can you explain how friction of a cleansing wipe across the surface of, for example, a tote lid or handle might impact your ability to recover DNA?
So DNA, both skin cells and biological fluids, are a biological material. For instance, like food, they would degrade and break down over time. And depending on the circumstances, the conditions that that item has been left in, would depend on how quickly that DNA would be expected to break down or disappear from an item. If an item has been cleaned, wiped, if it has been left outside, exposed to UV light or rain or other elements of the weather, then this would cause the DNA to, if it was present, to break down and disappear faster.
Okay. And if you were to be told that some of the items in this case, for example, the tote was recovered in a condition where it was outside in a wooded area where there was precipitation and full exposure to the light, would that affect your ability or your likelihood to recover DNA?
Yes, it would.
And how would that have impacted it?
As I said, it would cause any DNA or biological material that was present to break down faster.
And would that be, for example, more likely or less likely with contact DNA versus blood?
It would be more likely with contact DNA simply because there's not as much of the genetic material, the biological material there, as there is with a biological fluid.
Now, with respect to the clothing itself, if somebody had been dismembered and bled while wearing their clothing, would that deposit potentially blood DNA for you to retrieve?
Yes, that'd be likely.
And if that clothing had been removed from the body and recovered subsequently, would that DNA still be present in the blood found in the stains?
Depending on how the clothing was exposed to any elements, then yes, it would be possible to get the DNA from the blood.
If it was in a black plastic garbage bag, would that have helped you recover blood DNA, preventing it from being exposed to those elements I just described?
Yes, as long as it's not exposed to too many of the external elements, then yes, it'd be more likely to get DNA from those items.
If it was unseasonably cool for that time of the year, would that also assist?
Yes.
Why?
Like any other biological material, keeping it cool, as you would in a refrigerator, will help to maintain the longevity of the material.
Now, with respect to the next laboratory report, this is 1.73. I'm referring to, again, this far margin side where it references 64, 65, 66. Can you see that on your screen?
Yes.
Okay. What samples were tested in conjunction with your May 24th, 2023 report?
I tested DOFS item 64, a cutting from a futon. DOFS item 65, batting from a futon. Item 66, swabbing of a floor. Item 67, swabbing a floor. Item 68, swabbing a floor. Item 69, swabbing a floor. Item 70, swabbing of a den wall. And item 71, swabbing of northwest bedroom floor.
Okay. And I know you already testified that those samples, being the floor and the wall sample, were in fact a presence of blood. Were any additional samples the presence of blood other than those?
Not in this report, no.
What about the futon batting and the futon cover?
I apologize. I thought you had mentioned those. The chemical examination of the futon mattress cover, the futon batting, the swabs from the floor, and the swabs of the den wall indicated the presence of blood, and the swabbing of the northwest bedroom floor failed to reveal the presence of blood.
So would it be fair to say a swab was submitted that could have been blood, but after you tested it, it just wasn't?
Correct.
Okay. Is that sometimes the case?
Yes.
Officers will submit items to the laboratory for analysis, and you just determine whether it is or it isn't, right?
Correct.
There's no favor or benefit when you do your analysis, it's chemical, correct?
Yes.
Now, with those items that were recovered and tested, you also documented this separately, is that right?
Yes.
Do you do it close in time to when you're actually performing the analysis?
Yes.
And if you had done different stages or received submissions at different times, would that be an indication as to why there's more than one report?
Correct.
Okay. So did you receive all the items in this case all at the same time?
No.
Okay. Was that over a period of time?
Yes.
Okay. So just so we're clear for the record, I don't know if you can see that date up there. Can you see that date for this first report, 1.72?
Yes.
What date was that?
Well, the report was issued on May 4th of 2023. The evidence, including the knife, clothing, and storage containers and lid, were submitted to the lab on January 6th of 2023.
Okay. And why the delay?
Other processing had to take place on the items before I received them for my testing.
Okay. Did the lab have to process them in as well and receive them?
Yes.
Okay. And then the second report we said, I believe, is that referenced in 1.73?
Yes, the report date is May 24th, 2023, and the evidence, the cutting and batting from the futon, the swabs from the floor, and the swabs from the wall were submitted to the lab on May 17th, 2023.
Okay. And now with respect to DNA analysis.
We must be close to lunchtime. Y'all are talking
when you
about
received
food.
this case, had any DNA analysis been done by a different technician than yourself?
Yes.
What had been done and by whom?
The testing of the bloodstain cards labeled head, right leg, left leg, torso, and torso spleen had been tested by forensic biologist Michelle Shepard in order to ensure that all of the body items were related to each other. And she also did a parentage request in order to identify the body.
And those happened independent and before you, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And subsequently, were you able to simply document that on your report as having happened?
Yes.
Okay. Did you rely on that as well, simply to do the documentation portion?
Yes, and I used her testing, the DNA profiles that she had obtained from her testing, as a known reference sample for comparison to the evidence items that I was testing.
Okay. And what items did you compare her testing that reflected it was Mindy Mebane Kassotis to the items that you had?
For DNA testing, I tested a swabbing of a blood stain from the gray storage container, contact DNA swabs of the handles from the gray storage container, swabbing of blood stain from the black storage container, contact DNA swabbings of the handles on the black storage container, the general swabbing of the knife blade, and contact DNA swabbings of the knife handle and sheath. I also tested the cutting from the futon.
So I'd like to start with the storage container, that being item 37, the gray tote. Were you able to compare and recover DNA from that storage container?
Yes.
What were your findings?
The DNA obtained from the swab of the blood stain on the gray storage container contained the DNA profile of one individual, matching the profile of Mindy Mebane Kassotis.
Okay. You said one profile. Is that always the case?
No. There can be what are called mixture profiles, where there's two or more individuals that have contributed to a DNA mixture.
And when you say that it matched the profile, do you also do frequency when it comes to that?
Yes.
And what was the frequency with respect to the comparison of her DNA on the gray tote, the known sample, versus the swabbing from the gray tote itself?
So the frequency in which the DNA profile obtained from the swab of the blood stain on the storage container, the gray storage container, item DOFS item 37, is approximately 1 in 300 septillion. And for reference, it goes million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, quintillion, sextillion, septillion.
Okay. There are 3 zeros for each of those, right?
Yes, septillion would be a 1 followed by...
I think we heard testimony
26.
earlier. It's okay.
24 zeros.
Okay.
So close.
And at that time, did you also compare that known sample to something else that you found to be analysis that you were able to render?
Yes, I performed a comparison to the swab from the futon mattress cover.
And what were your findings?
The DNA obtained from the swab from the futon mattress cover contained the DNA profiles of at least 2 individuals, the major DNA profile matching the profile of Mindy Mebane Kassotis, and the frequency of which that DNA profile would be expected to be seen in the general population is approximately 1 in 300 septillion. And due to limited data, a partial low-level DNA profile, no conclusive determination could be made as to the donor of the remaining DNA profile obtained from the swab from the futon mattress cover.
Now, you said that there are oftentimes mixtures. Is that correct?
Yes.
Given that this was a futon mattress cover, one would presume that people sit on that, correct?
Correct.
Would the fact that another resident of the dwelling sat on the same futon potentially deposit DNA?
Yes.
So, do you have any way of knowing who that second DNA sample could have been?
No, I could draw no conclusions to that.
Okay. So, if this was an Airbnb that had been inhabited over a several-month period, would that further complicate the ability to figure out who that second DNA low-level contributor might be?
Yes, it could if multiple individuals have come in contact with the item.
When you have more than one person that can potentially come into contact, what do you do to try and limit or make any findings?
Within the case, we can request the known reference samples for any other involved individuals or any elimination individuals, anybody that was known to come in contact with the item. And at that point, we could attempt to make a comparison.
In an Airbnb, if there had been numerous residents over a period of time, would that be difficult to accomplish?
That would likely be difficult.
Now, with respect to item number, well, let me ask one also other question. If I was a resident in the dwelling, and let me withdraw that. If the allegation is that Mr. Kassotis was present inside of a residence along with Mrs. Mindy Mebane Kassotis, would it be unusual to find his own DNA on that same futon?
No, a person's DNA is likely to be on something that they come in contact with on a general basis.
Thank you. Would you have been able to tell potentially if that DNA was the blood versus some other type of DNA, meaning cellular?
Within these profiles, since there was the presence of blood and the testing was taken directly from the bloodstains themselves, it is likely, based on the fact that a full profile was obtained, that that DNA profile was from the blood. But it is also possible that there are skin cells or other biological materials that are also contributing.
And now, with respect to the black tote, that being item 38, and 63D, the handles, and 34, the knife, and then the sheath of the knife, can you tell us what your findings were on that?
PCR amplification procedures, so complete DNA testing, was not performed on item 63C, the swab with the blood stain on the black storage container, item 38. Item 36D, the contact DNA swabs of handles on the black storage container, item 38. Item 63E, the general swab with the blood stain of the knife blade, item 34. And item 63F, the contact DNA swabs of the knife handle and sheath, item 34, due to an insufficient amount of DNA detected. What this means is that human DNA was detected. It was not enough DNA for us to move forward with our testing.
Likely it
Low
was
levels
cleaned
of
up
DNA,
with Clorox
we would
wipes.
not expect to be able to obtain a usable DNA profile from our testing.
So there just wasn't enough DNA there.
Correct.
And with respect to, I believe you said item 37, did you include that, the gray toe handles?
The PCR amplification procedures were not performed on item 63B, the contact DNA swabs of the handles on the gray storage container, due to the absence of quantifiable DNA. So in that case, there was no DNA detected.
So there was no DNA at all on the gray handles?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you've discussed the sufficiency, meaning having enough of it. Can you tell us, does DNA have a timestamp? Can you determine when DNA was deposited somewhere?
I cannot tell when DNA has been deposited somewhere or how fresh a stain is. However, like all biological material, the longer that a biological fluid or DNA sits on an item and is exposed to external elements, it will begin to degrade, and you would not see a complete DNA profile.
So would it go from first full profile available to potentially a less capable profile, meaning not as complete, and then potentially gone completely?
Correct.
Okay. And also, you, I believe, just testified, you can't tell when it's deposited either?
Correct.
Just one moment. I have nothing further.
Mr. Weinstein? Thank you.
I think they'll focus on touch DNA and how easy it is to transfer it or something. What do you think?
Good morning, Ms. Ransom. I'm assuming it's still morning. I didn't check before I came up here. My name is Doug Weinstein. I represent Mr. Kassotis in this case. Well, hello to you too. I just have a few questions for you.
What was that? Hello? Hello? Hello to you too. Bailiff in back is trying not to crack a smile. I think it was somebody's AI that said hello to it or something.
Regarding exhibit, States Exhibit 1.24, that is your June 26 report, your DNA analysis. There was a discussion regarding, with the state, regarding that 2 individuals' DNA profiles were found on the swab from the futon mattress cover. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. And one of the individuals you identify as Mindy Kassotis?
Correct.
And the other individual you did not identify, correct?
Correct.
Can we see that?
Could it be Jim McIntyre?
You can see that?
Yes.
Of course, I don't know what we're seeing, so I can't.
You're welcome to.
Thank you.
Would you like me to turn it?
No, it's okay. Thank you. Can you see this portion here where it says it may be possible to draw conclusions?
Yes, I can.
Would you read that can you read that paragraph?
Yes, it may be possible to draw conclusions on all contributors from item 72, swab from futon mattress cover, item 64, utilizing TrueAllele casework software. Please contact a forensic biology manager to discuss TrueAllele casework software analysis on item 72, swab from futon mattress cover, item 64. Adequate known reference samples from the subject and a elimination individual will need to be submitted.
Did you write that paragraph?
Yes.
Can you explain that in more plain English about what you were requesting?
Cindy, welcome to the jury.
So TrueAllele is a computer software program that aids in the interpretation of complex DNA mixtures, partial degraded DNA mixtures, and it simply aids with, in this case, where I had a minor profile that I could not draw any conclusions to, it would be able to assist with drawing conclusions. But in order to use TrueAllele, you would need known reference samples from any person who potentially could have contributed DNA to that item.
Do you know if the TrueAllele casework software was ever used, if your request was ever followed up on?
No, it was not requested.
Do you have to pay to use does the GBI Crime Lab? Do you have to pay money to use the TrueAllele software?
No.
Okay. So it wasn't a budgetary issue that would have prevented that from being performed, correct?
Correct.
With respect to State's Exhibit 1.73, which is the May 24th, 2023 report, you received packages containing, I guess, 4 different floor samples as well as a sample from the den wall, correct?
Correct. 5 floor samples, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, 5 floor samples? Oh, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. There was an additional 5th. 4 of the samples were from something just labeled as floor. There was a 5th sample labeled bedroom floor.
Correct.
With respect to the 4 samples from the floor and the den wall, do you know if they were submitted for DNA testing?
They were.
They were. Okay. And do you know what the results were?
I did not perform DNA testing on them because all of those items had been indicated as coming from the same location. So I chose one item to begin with.
Okay. And which item was that?
I performed testing on the swab from the futon mattress cover, item 64, which was the cutting from the futon.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was inartful in my question. As far as the floor samples, what's labeled in this report, let me put this here. What's labeled in this report as sample 1, sample 2, sample 3, and sample 4. Those 4 floor samples. Did you perform DNA testing on those?
I did not.
Did anyone, as far as you know, perform DNA testing on those 4 floor samples?
No.
And what about sample 5, the den wall? Did you perform DNA testing on the den wall sample?
No, I did not.
As far as you know, did anyone perform DNA testing on the wall sample?
No.
Court's indulgence for just a moment.
Yes. That's all he had for her?
Okay, I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Anything over here, Brett?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. You're excused.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Amber is sending me files to play. Man, oh my goodness. And she's calling me too. Not going to watch it yet. It just arrived. I just heard a tiny bit, the intro.
I've got 12:20, so if you would come back at 1:30, a
Yeah,
little over an
right.
hour. Thank you.
Greener says, I recognize that sound. I hope it's not a copyright sound. I hope it doesn't get to be a strike tonight. I can't watch them. I just made sure it downloaded. It just downloaded it, and I checked it, and it automatically opened. So we're good. We're good. We'll play it tonight. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to do that.
Whatever I need to do to get it to you to make it easier, I can do. I just wanted to tell you now on the record. So
is this like your apology ahead of time? You're asking for forgiveness for what you're about to do? Is it?
No, because I'm not about to do anything. It's what you're about to do to yourself.
Well, what's that?
Just know I would never do anything to get you in trouble. And I would never do anything that you wouldn't approve of beforehand, okay? Are you regretting this decision?
Just want to put this out there while we've got everybody here. We might be looking for new mods. So if it's something that you're interested in and think you might have the time to dedicate to a channel that will love you unconditionally, unless you do something terrible. Tonight, let me tell you this. Tonight on the podcast, we're going to do something we've never done before. And because Greeners did his internet sleuthing and dug deep, we're talking 14 years ago, when I was just a wee lad in school.
Red Pen, do you give me permission to give him a sneak peek screenshot?
No. Don't do that. We'll do a full reveal. We'll do it live.
I just want you to do like a thumbnail type glance.
How about give me a thumbnail that I can use for the podcast. But see if you can incorporate Thomas in it and me like a regular thumbnail, but also something about what's going to happen tonight. How about that?
I don't know. That'll be up to Red Pen because she's seen the screenshot.
Oh, no.
Oh, she said yes if it's for thumbnail.
Okay. All right.
Okay, stand by. Making thumbnail now.
Okay. Let me explain while we're waiting for this. And by the way, we're also keeping an eye right now on court up in Judge Simpson's court. We are waiting for Mr. Magoo to make himself known. Sorry, it was paused there for a second while I connected. There we go. Waiting for Mr. Magoo to make himself known in this courtroom. He is somebody we've followed for, I guess you could say, months. And each time he makes an appearance, it's worse. It gets badder and badder, if that's a word. So we'll keep an eye on that. We are monitoring that. When it happens, we'll bring it to you. So we'll have a palate cleanser probably between this afternoon session and the podcast, which starts on this channel at 8 p.m., which you all should be here for because we're giving away free memberships because it's the first Thursday of the month. And we're showing all sorts of videos from my past, which I have not seen. I cannot stress this enough. I have not seen. I imagine I didn't do something illegal on them because they were posted and they have been on the internet. And we're talking videos that have maybe 300 views over 14 years. Not much. Very few eyeballs have seen this. So anyway, that's going to be tonight. And
in order for me to actually make the thumbnail for tonight's podcast, I need you to send me the actual podcast thumbnail of you and Thomas
in Canva, or
it doesn't matter.
Okay,
in Canva is fine.
Yeah. All right, we'll.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. All right.
Did RA sign the waiver? He did that back when he put me as a mod.
I can't stress how much I trust my mods to protect the image of the channel. So we're gonna.
When he says how much he trusts his mods, he means like to the extent I've created an entire website.
I kid you not. I could not do this without the mods. I might not be able to do it again because of them. We'll see what happens tonight. So, anyway, Amber, thank you very much. I'll get you that the thumbnail to work with on lunch here, if that's all right.
Don't forget goldfish brain.
I already made sight. Have you tried it? No, but I did it. I'm not going to forget. So.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Goodbye.
Thanks, Amber. Bye. All right. Anyway, what we're saying is tonight's going to be a lot of fun. Little background. When I was just a wee lad going to school for communications, my degree is in electronic media. It's in television production. Basically, this covered sports, covered all sorts of events. I had to sort of dip my toes in the water and understand what was going on in other parts of that same production, meaning what it's like being behind the camera, what it's like being a director, what it's like being a technical director, what it's like being a switcher and doing graphics and being an anchor on set and being the weatherman. And there may be video proof of me playing some of those roles. It's all for school. None of this was professional. Trust me. Well, I did actually get paid for this because I was like the chief technical engineer or something for the channel for the school. So I got to play with equipment more than most people. But anyway, those videos are going to be shown tonight. You do want to be here for it. I do plan on deleting this podcast after it's done. So you got to sort of be here. But we'll do a blind react, and it's going to be great. Anyway, back to the case at hand as we wait for, I think this one, as we wait for, where are we? We've got, for Georgia to come back from lunch. I went to school late, by the way. So when I'm in these videos, I'm like old enough to be the professor, and everyone else is like college age. It just adds to the cringe. And wait till you see the outfits I wore back then. I did dress myself. I got up before Mrs. R.A. did. I'd usually get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, go work at the TV station, come back, work at another job, go to school, come back, work at another job, go to school again, come back, work at a third and fourth job. It was a rough time in life. I mean, if anyone thinks they had it harder in school than me, put your money where your mouth is. I think I was busier than y'all. But 4 jobs and a handful of kids as well. I think at least 4 kids. Yeah, it was fun. So we get video proof from that tonight. Anyway, other than that, where we are in this case, we're covering a lot, or have covered a lot of DNA evidence that has linked the victim to the crime scene. And a lot of times that's not very helpful. In this case, it was, because of how the victim was found. It needed to be done to make sure we had the right victim, the right pieces going to the puzzle, quite literally, and that's terrible to say. But DNA did that job. Unfortunately, it looks like the defendant, or whoever committed this crime, if we give him the reasonable doubt, or I guess the guilty, innocent unless proven guilty, I guess we should say, did a good job cleaning up. Clorox wipes, letting things out in the sun, dirt, clean up around the crime scene, rugs missing. There's not a lot of evidence that the perpetrator left that was able to be recovered and used. So that's going to be difficult a little bit for the state, but they have what they think is a preponderance of evidence that will prove this for the mind of the jury. So we're just barely getting into who or what. I think you meant what by this word right here, Valerie. It's always fun when spell check gets you the wrong way. What is Jim McIntyre? We're going to get to that. And I think we're going to get to it more so when defense brings their case up. But possibly if we get to hear the audio recording of the interviews, I think it'll come up in there as well. So it's going to be great. I think it's just time for lunch. We're coming back at 1:30. It gives us 1 hour. I'll be back just a few minutes early for that. The court has been late, coming back from every break, so I'm sort of counting on that. I'm going to come back at 1:25, and we'll do a portal. I'll build a portal right now. And let's see, what day is it today? We're day 3. All right, there we go. We'll have a portal. We'll come back at 1:25. And then court should begin just a few minutes later. We're getting to the good stuff. I think we are. The parts that are going to be interesting for a lot more people. A lot of times the technical stuff gets a little bit slow. I think we're past most of that. We're also past most of what I think is the gory testimony, with having the ME already testifying, with having the investigators who are on scene, recovering body parts testifying. So it's gonna be good. It'll happen here. Just wait for it. Just wait for Greener's first in chat. He was so fast that he clicked on it when it was loaded but not ready yet. Greener's first in chat again on the second stream, so thank you. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again in about an hour, or a little less than that. Do please click the like button on the way out the door if you can. We'd like to get to about 1,000. We're about 242 short. So y'all have a good lunch. We'll see you afterwards. Bye-bye.
because he's the guy.